never take your body for granted. Never, ever take for granted what your body is able to do for you. Because before the injury, like physically, I was very capable of doing more than I was doing. But I think mentally, something was like keeping me back from doing more. I was just like scared to push, scared to train for a marathon, scared to do this. And then the injury happened, and that's like rip, it's just ripped away from you.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 122 of the On the Runs podcast. We are coming to you live from the back of a church parking lot after the New Hampshire 10-miler, where we just ran up all those hills with a brand new recorder in the back of my truck, and we have some new members of the PodFam, some new and some old. We got Rachel, we got Sammy, we got Jen, we got Lindsay, and I got my amazing co-host, 6-star Erica. What's up?
I actually signed up. Yeah, peer pressure works, people, but in a good way.
But it didn't work by me, Lindsay, or Tara. Who actually peer pressured you to do the race?
Well, I can't even blame it on Rachel. I can't, because I sent her a message and I said, so you're doing extra miles after the race, right? So I had to get out of the house. I would not run if I didn't get out. So this was a great excuse to get out. I'm glad everybody was here. Literally.
Beautiful weather.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I still hate the course. It sucks. But I do feel good after being here. I had the FOMO. I was getting
And now
FOMO.
you got the rest of this beautiful day to go do whatever you want. Go drink, go stretch, go sleep, whatever.
We're day drinking.
Go run some more.
Yeah, I don't think the running is going to happen
that's
anymore.
not happening.
Yeah, I already told Rachel, I'm like, I don't think I can swing it. That race kicked my butt.
Well, it didn't kick mine. I feel freaking amazing.
Good for you. I'm
Real
jealous.
quick, so we have some alums here. We have Jen and we have Rachel, but we have someone brand new to the podcast. We have Sammy Pro, Sammy Sulia. Welcome to the pod, Sam.
Hey, guys.
Woo!
Happy to be here.
Welcome.
Yeah. We're going to get Sammy on for an episode soon, and then we're going to get Pammy Pro on for an episode soon, too. But today, we have a wicked awesome episode, a wicked awesome guest. Everything is wicked cool about her and Josh and the Wicked Smart Zone. So let's, Erica, introduce her, and then we'll come back for the outro and talk all about the NH 10-miler.
We are so excited to have Jenene Vernon. Wicked excited to have Jenene Vernon on the podcast. We've had her husband, Josh, on the pod in the past.
Technically
and
3 times.
Has it been 3 times?
Yeah,
already?
we had the
Damn.
first one, and then when he did the triathlon, and those were all before episode 20.
Okay, so it's about time we had Jenene.
And then he did an OTR live. He was like our test dummy. One of our first test dummies. It's
all
about
right.
time we had
So
Jenene
here
on.
we go. Jenene, she just had a wicked, awesome comeback after
Tearing her
having,
knee up.
Yeah, ACL surgery.
ACL, MCL, meniscus,
Yep.
the whole thing.
Yep. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned, hear about how she got back into running. We just love Jenene so much. She's part of the pod fam.
And Jen, you're running Chicago this year.
I am.
So is Jenene.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we're going to have to make that connection. We're going to make all the other connections. But guys, enjoy the episode with Jenene Vernon, and we'll see you on the other side talking all about the NH 10-miler.
Our next guest on the pod is one of our few PodFam members who hasn't been on the pod yet. She's the better half of Vern on the Bike. She's been doing wicked good by raising thousands of dollars for your local restaurants in the community. She might be eligible to claim a residency at the New York City Peloton studio. And recently, she's been on an epic comeback journey from a significant injury. And we're wicked excited to finally have her on the pod. Jenene Vernon, welcome
Hi,
to
guys.
the On the Runs podcast. What's up?
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. I mean, we were so happy to finally get a chance to meet you this past January at the one and only New York City Peloton Studios. That was super cool. We thank you for having us there.
Which is her second
now we're
home.
glad to have you in our neck of the woods on our pod. So welcome.
I'm so happy to be here. Let me tell you that episode after the studio visit is just like, it was iconic. It was iconic. We literally on the way back, I think it must have been the way back from Peloton, either that time or like another time. we listened to that on the way home, and it was so much fun, like hearing the experience through through your eyes, right? And that's why we like love to we like to bring like first timers to come and whatnot, because every time we do that, we experience something new. But honestly, that recap was fantastic. And then you have, Pterodactyl, right? Like chiming in here and there. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. So if you haven't listened to that episode, you have to go back and listen to the post Peloton episode because it was so good.
You're the best for bringing that up again. We had so much
It was
fun
so
recording that. It was super unhinged. We were like, I don't know, punch drunk at that point on our way home. It was late. We were exhausted, but it was a blast to record that. Yeah.
It's a studio high.
Seriously, yes.
Yes,
it was the entire car ride back from the New Haven train station to Erica's house, basically.
It was like
we're like, we'll do a 30-minute recap. We should stop just saying we'll do 30 minutes or 20 because we just go on.
It never happens.
That episode is one of my favorite. It's definitely
best.
a top 5 episode.
Yeah, it was fantastic. You're always cursed. The people who say like, we're just going to do 30 minutes or like, I only have one short thing to say. Have you ever noticed that those are the people who go on and on and on? So as soon as you say like, we're just going to do a short recap of this, like you should probably plan 2 hours for that.
Buckle up.
What happened. But I'll tell you, as you guys started getting closer and closer to home, I was like getting sadder and sadder. So I'm like, oh my God, it's going to end soon.
Oh, no.
It was just so good.
Well, that's my hook for Erica. I'll say like, hey, let's jump on and do like a quick 20-minute recap of something. I know internally it's not going to be 20 minutes, but all I got to do is get her in her spare bedroom studio, turn on the computer, fire up the mic, and then she'll tell me the story. And it'll be like an hour and 20 minutes later. See, I said 20 minutes. I just forgot to say the hour.
There have been several times where I'm like, dude, I have to go to bed. We need to end this episode. Let's wrap this up. So yeah, we can be long-winded sometimes.
Too much damn fun.
So much fun.
So where are you right now? You're not at home. You're in a different setting.
I'm not at home.
We've had your better half on before. And the background looks a little different. Tell us where you are. What are you doing?
Yes, I'm in a hotel in Boston. So you would think like, wait a second, she's from Boston. I love to claim Boston as my home, but we're actually in Mendon. So for me, I had to come into Boston for work. This is where my office is, but like to take the train in is solid 2 hours, right? So I just decided I was gonna I was just gonna book a hotel room, but you guys will appreciate this. I forgot my sneakers at home.
Oh no.
Everything packed. I left them right by the front door so I would not forget them for my run tonight. Forgot them. So, of course, I called Josh and I'm like, how do you feel about taking an impromptu trip into the city? That was too long for me to drive. I like to drive back and forth, but how would you feel about taking an impromptu drive into the city? So he's on his way in now to bring me my sneakers. He's just going to stay the night.
What a guy.
I need my sneakers. I need to go for my run tonight. So
is he gonna bring your doggy with you? Your new puppy? Oh my gosh! If you haven't seen her puppy, he is the tiniest little what is he? Is he a Dachshund? Is that what he is? Like
he's
cute
a
little
wiener.
I had a wiener dog as a kid. We had Maggie.
Did you?
Yes, she was a wiener dog. She was awesome.
We had no idea that there were so many dachshunds out there, and then so we got him in Tennessee. We did a down and back in one day. The Rock and Roll Nashville half marathon was that morning. We didn't do it because we found out about it too late. But we had friends who were doing it. So we went in the morning, cheered them on. Actually, one of Josh's athletes was doing it. And so we went in the morning, cheered her on along with a couple of other friends, picked him up in the afternoon and came home that night. And when we had him in the airport, of course, it's this tiny little thing. So many people are commenting, like, I have a dachshund, I have a dachshund, I have a dachshund. So they are the best. He has an Instagram. If you haven't been on it, check it out.
No way. Send it to me. I'll throw it in the show notes.
Please.
I saw a funny meme or whatever we call these things these days. It's a lady doing a plank and her dachshund is next to her. And the dog's like, I don't get it. It's not that hard. Why are you complaining?
We talk about that all the time. I have a fantastic picture of his first week home, and Josh is doing a plank, and the dog slid underneath him, and he's just looking up at Josh like that. Like, what are you doing? What is the big deal about that? So it's Josh doing a plank and then Lincoln are like right underneath him. And it's accurate. Like it's very, very accurate. So
How
yeah,
cute.
he's a cutie pie. So I was like, all right, well, if you're gonna come and bring the sneakers, can you bring the dog?
That's
Might
awesome.
as well. Oh, that's gonna
Yeah.
be a fun weekend. Well, not even weekend away.
I don't care,
Weeknight
just a
away for
night
you
away.
guys.
Just a
There
night
you
away,
go.
exactly.
Is he going to spend the night with you, or is he just like going right back home after that?
Yeah, no, I was like, you might as well. Like we have, like we got a late checkout. You can work from here tomorrow. So
There you
we're
go.
like a little impromptu, and now I don't have to be away from the dog for an entire night.
Let's be honest. You
cute.
planned this so your dog could come to the hotel.
If I could have been that smart and that like sharp, I probably would have. I don't like to give myself that much credit. I don't think I could have like thought about it, but man, it really did work out very well. He's also not allowed in the hotel, so I'm like, good thing he's 8 pounds. He's just gonna like sneak him in a
Sneak him in.
backpack.
That's awesome.
He's so tiny. I'm like, all right. He doesn't bark. He's very tiny.
How old
Perfect.
right now?
Win-win. He just turned 5 months.
When we got our mini dachshund, we put her next to a Beanie Baby. They're the same size at 8 weeks.
Oh my God.
Stop
Isn't
it.
that
Yeah.
funny?
Yeah. It was
That is
so.
hysterical. We found this little statue thing of it was in TJ Maxx's little it's just like the ceramic little dachshund, and similar when we first got him home. Only then he's grown obviously since then, but same size, tiny little thing. He was 2.5 pounds when we got him. Now he's 8, so he feels huge to us, but he's still very tiny.
Love
He's
it.
cute.
Janine, we kind of know you, but maybe we don't know
Kinda.
you enough, and our listeners
Mm.
probably don't know you that well, unless they were like Tara Pterodactyl who went to the Peloton studios, or if we have listeners from the Wicked Smart Zone. But let's
Yeah.
get the rundown. Who is Jenene Vernon? Give us the story here.
Oh my gosh, the story. So I am actually, it's very, very, very hard for me to say like Wicked Smart Zone. And it's like whenever it comes up, I'm not a native New Englander. So I grew up in New York. So it's particularly hard, like whenever I talk about Wicked Smart Zone, I honestly, it's so, you can like see it in my face. It's so
You're
difficult
kind of
for me to say.
grimacing a little bit. You're like, oh no, it doesn't feel natural.
I'm like, it is not natural. So yeah, so I grew up in New York, actually in Long Island, and then went down to Virginia for school, stayed in DC for grad school. I didn't move up to Boston until 2009. So my sister, she came to school up here. She went to Holy Cross, and then it just became time, again in your 20s. I'm like, I love Boston so much. I just absolutely need to move up there. But I have not picked up the accent. And I don't know if I'm happy about it. I'm not happy about it, but I will tell you, it's very, very unnatural for me to say Wicked Smart Zone.
Do you still have the New
my
York
best,
accent?
though.
Like, how do you say bagel or coffee?
I'm actually, I bagel coffee. So I've pretty much gotten rid of the New York accent. It was thick, if you can believe it. I used to have the thickest New York accent to the point that when I went to school in Virginia, my hallmates, I remember them saying to me, I literally don't know what you're saying right now because it was so, so, so thick. So I think between like going down to Virginia and then I was in DC and then coming up here, I think over time it's sort of like whittled its way out. But I'll tell you, like aging myself, watching my old videotapes and home movies and stuff like that, hearing my accent, it used to be super, super thick. Like I was a coffee kind of girl, the mole,
Coffee.
like draw instead of drawer. Like I literally thought until an embarrassingly old age that draw, like the thing you pull out was DRAW. Like that's just how you said it. So that's what it was, right? The thickest accent. So no, I have absolutely gotten rid of that. So unless I'm like, if I start talking really fast, or if I'm in New York for too long, then it'll start to come out again. So it's important that like when I go to Peloton, I go and I like leave.
You go
get
and then
out
you
of
come
there.
right
Otherwise,
back. You're like, I can't stay, but I'll be
can't.
back. Yeah.
I'll be back. Exactly. So I grew up on Long Island. I just can't stay there for too long. Otherwise, I like lose my Boston card. I'm kicked out and I'm not allowed back in. So I have to come back quickly.
What are your sports teams then?
My sports teams are the Mets.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, the Mets.
you
So my
don't
dad-
usually hear about the Mets. You usually hear about the
don't.
Yankees. So
I am not a Yankees fan at all. Like more power to the people who are Yankees fans. My dad, my whole family for the most part grew up in like Brooklyn. So my dad's side of the family was Brooklyn, and my mom was Queens, but really, Queens was, but my dad was actually a baseball player. My dad actually played for the Yankees.
No way.
Yeah, he did. He did. He has got a really, really cool history in baseball. But because he grew up in Brooklyn, he was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan. And then Dodgers went to LA, Mets replaced them. So like I only grew up on watching the Mets over and over and over and over again. So like every once in a while, I like to like throw a 1986 out there for Josh and be like, how was that, right? Because that's the only claim to fame the Mets can have over like anybody. So I'm mostly a baseball girl. So really, it's my only like New York sports connection are the Mets, and then other than that, it's. But I still love the Red Sox. I love going to games. I always say I'll root for the Red Sox if they're playing anyone but the Mets. So we went to like one Red Sox Mets game, and it was very fun. The Mets won.
I totally get that. When in Rome, you gotta kind of go with the
like
flow,
a bunch of
and
Red
whoever
Sox
you're
fans, and were you like
with.
rubbing it in? Ha 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 ha. Or...
Just my husband, and yes, very, very, very much so. Except like I can't really rub it in because they suck, right? So there's only so much I could like.
In the moment, though, you won. It's that moment, yeah. You're like, hey, we paid $200-something for these tickets, and I left happy, and you did. That's funny.
Exactly.
At least somebody left happy.
Exactly.
So you've mentioned Josh, Vern on a bike. And
Vern
if you moved to Boston in 2009, when did you meet Vern on a bike? Give us the On the Run's love story. Spare
we
no
love the
details.
love stories.
You guys, the love story. So 2018.
He walks into the room. There's the sun shining on him. It's reflecting off his forehead. And then all of a sudden, this big smile appears, and you're just like, mine.
Absolutely not at all. Guys, we met, oh my God, we met online. Totally valid, totally fine. Anyone out there who's online dating, I fully support it. Tinder, which he loves to make sure people know that we met on Tinder. It happens. People fall in love on Tinder. If you're listening to this and you're online dating and you're on Tinder, it happens. There's hope.
Is Tinder still around though?
I don't know. Is it?
I hope you don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
No clue.
It's gotta be. I don't know.
Someone needs to comment. Is it?
Yeah, our single listeners, let us know what the new and hip dating apps are these days.
Yeah. Well, exactly. What do people do? Right? Is it like? I mean, it was like Match.com. I don't even remember.
Is there like an algorithm that just matches you with someone and says this is your next wife?
Right. There's got to be. I bet you anything. There's got to be like they're all like themed and stuff. I bet there's like a running one. Peloton supposedly has like a Peloton
Strava
thing. Someone was telling Strava. Exactly. Strava is the Tinder for runners. That should be their new tagline. Oh my God, I think you should. I don't know if are you marketing? Because you should be.
I am not, but we can find some people to help us get that off the ground.
Make sure you get credit for that.
I cannot be the first one to think of that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the dating app thing. Yeah. Yeah. So we met on Tinder.
So who sent the first message?
Oh my God, I don't remember. I think he messaged me. This is a good question for him. I'm pretty sure he messaged me. I remember, I don't even know if I told him this. I remember I was talking to him and one other guy at that same time, and the other guy just kind of like fell off. And then Josh, the rest is history from there. We met up in Watertown at a bar, which is just so ironic now considering like our love story and our journey together, right? Like the bars, the eating out, all that stuff. And the rest was history. Like he likes to say like we met and then he moved in the next day. Like that is not true, but it is true that we met. And from that point on, it was like we were inseparable.
Were you two like wicked into the fitness and running though at the time? I don't think you were, right?
No. Well, no. I was active, right? I was like 5Ks, 10Ks. I was big into Orange Theory. Love Orange Theory. Shout out to Orange Theory. Was absolutely super into that. I wasn't really doing any like long distance. I had done some like half marathons at the time, taken a little bit of a break from it. But Josh absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. People assume that like we met on like, on like a running club or like a fitness thing or like
Strava.
an Orange Fair Strava. Exactly. No, absolutely not. We met online and like he probably hadn't worked out in like, and he loves the story, right? Probably in about like 20 years, right? He saw something yesterday on his Facebook memories that was one of his friends had tried to start this like new challenge of like getting people healthy, and this was like 15 years ago. And he had posted like, I feel like a new person. I did 25 crunches, a plank for 30 seconds, and like 10 push-ups, which, hey, I am a big fan of like movement is movement. But knowing
Mhm.
my husband now, um, he was he was so proud of himself for that. And I think that's so sweet. Now, after that was probably the last time he had done it for like another, 14 days and 14 years and like 364 days. But no, like at that point, we were very much like, it was not like a fitness running journey thing together. It was just, I, I have a picture. I don't know if you guys have seen it online, but I have this one picture of the first time I made Josh come on a run with me. I need to find this picture. Um,
Please.
I need to find this picture. It's the first time I made Josh come on a run with me. It was like the middle of winter. Um, and I was like, just come with me, right? It's like a 3-mile loop around like Watertown. And, at that stage, we're taking pictures of everything we do. We take a picture before we go on this run. And he is making this face like, I hate this girl right now. It's,
Yes.
I need to find this picture and send it to you guys. And I take the liberty of, or I used to take the liberty of before all of his races, like reposting it and be like, in honor
Mhm.
of this triathlon, in honor of this Ironman that he's about to do, good luck to this guy who, has this face that he's about to kill me because I'm about to make him come on a 3-mile run with me, which of course he kicked my ass in it still. But yeah, no, we were on a very, very, very different journey when we met, and it's just sort of been something that together we've like refound a passion for.
That's excellent. So,
Yeah.
what kind of stuff do you guys really enjoy doing together? Is it just running, or
Yeah.
will you go for
I won't
swims
run with
together? I
him.
know Josh
No.
has his he's very tri-focused right now, but like, do you guys play
Yeah.
pickleball together? Like other fun things?
No, I mean, so I went for, when I say like we do this together, I am like very clear with him that I will not go on a run with him because first of all, he's like so super fast. He's, Mr. I'm trying to like qualify for Boston. And like, I am not. I was
Mm.
solid middle of the packer, but we'll still like, we run together, but not together. Like we'll go to the track and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do that kind of stuff. And I went for, he loves his swimming. I'm a terrible swimmer. I love it, but I'm awful at it. So every once in a while, I'll try and join him at,
Mhm.
at the gym for a swim. But yeah, we just like to do stuff like active. Like we'll go on hikes together. Like certainly we'll try and do like our vacation stuff around hiking, around snorkeling. Like we love anything that's active, right? But
Mhm.
it's, we try to do things that are like not just that everyday stuff together. So build into vacations, like we do snowshoeing and, anything that's really like outside and stuff like that.
Yeah,
We
you guys
try
get the
and
variety. That's good.
we try to like love snorkeling, anything in the water. Again, like terrible swimmer, but for snorkeling, fine. I can hold my own, right? Um,
True.
but we like to like be outside, be active. But like, don't get me wrong, we like to sit on the couch. Like this past weekend when he was done with his, Ironman relay, we sat on the couch probably the entire rest of the weekend and just like watched the Olympics, right? So like,
Mhm.
as much as we love all of that active stuff, we love like to sit and veg and watch like, we're big Netflix and chill kind of people, right? And documentaries and watching the loopy loop over and over and over again on like on a live broadcast. So we enjoy that too.
That made me so happy to hear you say that. I
was so
was
much
telling
fun.
Jenene earlier that I am the one who will sit and watch a marathon. Like I will watch the Olympic marathon. I'm so looking forward to it. And I
can't
call
wait.
that my Indy 500 because I will sit and watch that. Eric will not, but he will watch NASCAR. And
I would watch
cars
the
go in a
marathon.
circle. I know, but we all have our things.
But I
so,
get it. Like I won't watch
can
golf,
focus
and
on
some
that.
people watch golf.
Yeah, I don't
Exactly. So
understand
everybody's
that.
got their own thing. Like I would totally watch people run in loops, like
And
like they did at
it's
Loop
literally
Looper.
it's
Awesome.
so wild, but it was so intriguing. Just that I mean, God bless you guys for the ultra stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. But I think it was like my first real exposure into that, other than like listening to you all talk about that kind of thing. Like I had never really paid too much attention to it. And then, our friend was doing it, and turns out there was a live stream. And I'm telling you, we
So
were just
cool.
like hooked on it. And it was just very, very fascinating. It definitely like was something like I'm like, okay, this is really interesting to me. It like opened up my eyes to that ultra world that I can understand
Awesome.
why it like hooks you in. I totally understand that.
Yeah, you get the grit and the determination from
Yes,
everybody who's doing loop after
exactly.
loop after loop.
Wild.
And
Absolutely
thank you.
wild.
You said
So,
you
yeah.
guys doing the ultra thing. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's hard work being an ultra Sherpa.
We're trying to get him into at least a 6 hour. That's a
I
start.
get that. I totally understand that. But hey, Sherping is hard work. It is hard work.
Yes,
I'm
it
telling
is.
you, my heart
You've done
rate,
quite a bit.
I have done a lot of Sherping. Um, I I said before I was forced into Sherping that the worst thing in the world you can ever make me do is like sit and be a spectator. I am a terrible spectator, especially like for the triathlons, swimming scares the life out of me. So the first time I was Sherping for Josh in his first triathlon, my heart rate was as high as his was. We compared after the fact because I get so nervous. I don't understand swimming. It freaks me out so much. So it's like a very high stress activity. So yes, I've done a lot of Sherping for his triathlons, and then this past, being forced into Sherpa world this past year with a little injury.
So what is your sport then? What would you say your thing is? Is it running, or did you grow up playing a
Running.
big sport? And yeah,
No, it's so funny. I absolutely do not. So I grew up dancing. So, a sport in its own right, but like very different from very different from now, right? And I was that girl, you guys. I was that girl who, because when you're doing something in high school, you're doing something in college, right? Uh, Running so often is like your punishment, right? Like you're late, you got to
Yeah.
go run, a couple laps, whatever, right? So I hated running growing up, absolutely hated it to the point where I would like do anything to avoid the mile that you would have to do. So like in high school for that, I would do anything. I would be sick that day, right? In
Yep.
college, oh my gosh, this is funny. In college, I took a kinesiology class because, easy A, right? I want to get my good GPA, easy A for the class, right? Paid no attention to what the class was supposed to be. Didn't look at the syllabus, didn't really care. I just wanted like my easy A, right? Come to find out that a requirement for this class was that you had to run a mile. And this
Oh
was
no.
after ad drop, right? Like you have this ad drop period where you can drop a class, no problem, no penalty. Oh no. This was far after ad drop. I withdrew from the class. Like I have that scarlet W on my transcript to forever remind me that like I would do anything to avoid the mile. So that is how much I absolutely hated running. And this was in college. Like, I'm not young, but it's not like
it was like
100
2 years ago.
that this was exactly. God, I knew I loved you, Eric. Yeah, it was up until probably my late 20s, like early 30s. More my early 30s. I really couldn't stand it. It was just not like what my body was built for, right? Because as a dancer, you do 3 minutes on, then you're off. 3 minutes on, then you're off. And like fine for sprinting, right? But that was never what like a mile. Again, felt like a marathon to me at the time. So just the idea of running a mile is enough for me to now have a W on my transcript from college. Thank you very much. So yeah, growing up, it was just the dancing. That was like my life growing up was all about that. And then as I got older, obviously dancing went away. And then I really started to enjoy running. Yeah, it was like definitely a switch flip.
I feel like so many of us have a story like that where we either found running for the first time or had to find it again once you hit 30. And you're like, you need a sport. Yeah, because I had it in high school, and then my whole entire 20s, I was involved in sports and athletics, but never running, and I hated doing more than a mile. And I even remember one day I said, I was probably like 30, and I said, I'm going to quit running. This 5K that happens in Manchester every year, I said, that's the last time I'm going to run, and I'm going to buy a bike. And then 6 months later, I signed up for another race, and then I started running again.
That's crazy. Being 30, like that's exactly when I was like, Like if I'm gonna say, it was a little opposite for me. It was when I turned 30. I was like, all right, if I'm gonna like turn 30, which now, my God, right? It seems so old at the time. I'm like, if I'm gonna turn 30, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna like look good doing it, right? So it was around that time that I was like, all right, maybe I'll do this running thing. The first race I ever did wasn't actually about the run, it was about the cause. So
Oh, there you
I
go. Finding a great
wish
cause is
it
wonderful too.
made a huge difference. And that was sort of the, okay, this is kind of fun. Like, I'm not a competitive person. I'm not like doing these to try and like win them by any stretch of the
Mhm.
imagination, but it caused like a little competition within myself, right? So I remember it like I remember it like it was yesterday. It was for lung cancer. So my
Mhm.
mom at the time had been diagnosed with lung cancer, and there was a race nearby. It was a 5K. And I was like, okay, I feel like I need to do something, right? As so many people are like, okay, I feel like so helpless. There's not much that I can do, in this situation. And so
Mhm.
there was this race in Washington, D.C., and it was like a couple of months away. And I remember saying, like, I'm going to train for this. I'm going to train for this and I'm going to do this because I want to do it for her. And I remember being shocked at the time because I did it with a friend who also trained with me. And
Mhm.
she had a friend who the day before called up and they were talking about whatever. And this girl was like, oh, I'll just join you for the 5K. And we were like in awe that anybody could just like jump into a 5K when meanwhile we had like been training months and months and months. And again, like no
Yeah.
judgment, like movement is movement. And anyone, like any kind of movement, I absolutely respect. But it's just wild to think back on the journey and how like starting there, I don't know. It's just, I think for all of us, right? It's just wild to think about like what got you into this. And
Mhm.
I really like have been thinking about that a lot lately. Like, yeah, I went from that girl who has a W on her transcript to getting into it for a cause to,
Yep.
now doing all the things like you just love so much.
Do you remember after that 5K, like were you like, that
Yeah,
was awesome, I want to do it again, or was there like a
I
delay?
do. No, there wasn't so much a delay. That started to get me into like more 5Ks and doing shorter things because it wasn't so much the first race, it was after the second, right? So the
Mm.
second one, after you do that second time and you're like, oh, I just kind of like beat my time. Now, again, we're not talking about like race winning times. I am proudly a middle of the packer, right? Um, but there was something that by doing that second one and being like, oh, this feels good to kind of like see some improvement. It was
Mhm.
after that second one. So anyone who does like one 5K, do a second one, and then I dare anybody to like not do a third and like really, really get into it. So I think it's that difference between that first 5K and the second, and starting to see like, wow, it feels really good to be able to see progress, or just like let me push myself to see if I can do a little bit better. So less between the first and the second. Once the second hit, that's when it was like, okay, like I want to keep doing this.
It's always fun to discover your limits because you're like, how much more can I
1000%.
push? Like, what else do I have to give? So I'm glad that's what it
Says you.
took to
You're gonna
get
do
you
it.
going. I
Says
mean,
you. Like, what's the max for you?
I'm still looking for the limit. We're gonna find out.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's so like it's just such a special mind thing. Whether it's and this like it's the accessibility of running, right? Whether it's you're going from a walk run to a run, right?
Mhm.
Or a walk and you're continuing to try and like
Absolutely.
improve your time, or if it's hey, I'm trying to get my 100 mile to 110 miles, right? It's and everything in between. It's just like the accessibility of the sport that I think is so important and so special. And like I just think it's
Exactly.
so important for people to like not compare themselves to others, because whatever that like first race and second race is for you, like I said, I mean, whether it's
Oh
a
yeah.
walk run to a run or just a walk to a walk run, I think, whatever that means to you is so important in seeing that progress
There's
and whatnot. It's,
there's
it's
room
different
for
for
everybody
everybody.
in our
There's room for
sport.
everybody. You just need, your pair of sneakers.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Were these races before or after you and Josh met?
Before.
So
1000% before.
so that photo you took of you and him where he's miserable,
Miserable.
who got each other to like do an active race first, like a 5K or something?
So, oh gosh, I got him 1000%, and then just created a monster from there, right? But it actually, I blame his brother, not, I don't blame myself. I blame his brother, and I'll tell you why. So that first run we did in Watertown, absolutely hated me. Then there was a Halloween run. It was a Halloween 5K.
See, that's always fun when you slap a theme on it and a costume, and oh yeah, sign me
We were
up.
the Spartan cheerleaders. Spartan cheerleaders. We love our bad TV, our bad movies. Like, don't think I didn't get that like Mean Girls reference, right? Was it a Mean
Thank
Girls
you so
reference you
much.
just said?
Yep,
Very,
yep,
very
yep.
impressed with that.
Wonderful.
Yes, 1000%. So we were the Spartan cheerleaders from Saturday Night Live, like anything to cheese it up. And it was in the town that we were living in at the time. And we're like, all right, let's just do this. Like, I had gone out of the way to make these costumes for a party we were at the night before. And I'm like, we are going to do everything to get all of the like miles, no pun intended, out of these costumes. They're good costumes. I'll have to send this to you too. But I'm like,
Awesome.
we have these costumes. We're going to do this race. It's around the corner. We're going to do it. So
We need
he had
pictures.
agreed to do. I'll send them to you. He had agreed to do that race. He claims he let me win by like a couple of seconds. That was probably the first and only time he and I ran together, like actually ran together. And like towards the end, I'm sprinting to try and beat him. Like, again, not competitive with anyone but myself and probably my husband a little bit. And so that's when we had finally done a race together. But he didn't really start to get like the Josh that we all know and now I think was very much Peloton related, was very much triathlon related. Like he got hooked into it. His brother kind of hooked him into triathlon, just like sprint triathlon stuff. And then he got the opportunity to do a half Ironman, and the rest is all history for him, which is such a great
Well, he
sport.
found his limit last time he was on. He said his limit was half Ironman. He didn't want to go full. I still think he should go up. If Erica does 24 ADU, Josh should do a full Ironman.
Oh my gosh. He says, and he says maybe one day, right? I think it's a lot.
We got a maybe now.
You want a maybe for me?
For you, I definitely think. Come on.
Eventually.
It's I think the training with the triathlon is so. I think it's the swim a lot of it, right? Like if it was just the bike, just the run, I think you can manage that a little bit more. But like it's really hard to train for that long of a swim. So the good thing about triathlon, and I always like tout this as much as possible. I think it's such a good way to stay healthy because you get that low impact from the bike and the swim to kind of counteract a little bit of that running,
Definitely.
right? So I love that it helps to keep him healthy. And I swear, if I could ride a bike that like actually moved instead of just a Peloton, if I actually knew how to swim, I'd do it in a second. I just don't. So he claims that like he's not interested in it. I think as our daughter gets older and as we have more like free time in like that next stage of our life, maybe, but I don't support it anytime soon.
Well, let's talk more about you then and not so much about him. What's your jam? What's your favorite event to do?
So, I'm only doing the running, right? You're never going to see me doing the swim. You're never going to see me doing a bike ride. So for me, it's definitely the runs. I think, my half marathon, right? I love a good half marathon. So far, I haven't done anything more than that. But like, I really, hopefully we have a finish, sometime this year. But yes, I love a good half marathon. I love like the ones in Boston. My last one was the Run to Remember. Big fan of that.
Excellent.
Love the one down. There's one in Virginia Beach, the Shamrock that we've done 2 years now in a row. I've done it once. He's done it twice. Love that one. There's a lot of Pelotoners to do it. So it's a lot about that community and stuff like that. So I love the kind of distance of the half marathon. So I like started getting back into training for the half marathon, and I think also worked backwards. So like now that I've done more on the half marathon side of things, it's shifted my perspective to being able to do the 5Ks and really push it, right? And really just like see what I'm capable with that. So a little bit backwards. But yeah, I'm a half marathon girl. Hopefully a marathon finish sometime soon.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Didn't you just go to Disney World and run like a Disney half marathon?
That was my first marathon back after injury. So that was the one that I was training for. I got into the 2-course challenge. So one of the most fun races I've absolutely ever done, just because, like, not that you have races where people are only about the time, but like, quite frankly, like the Disney half marathon, it was the wine and dine half marathon weekend. So I did the 2-course challenge where it was a 10K the Saturday, it was a half marathon the Sunday. And like, you guys, the costumes, right? Like, I love the tutus and stuff like that, but these people were in like full on blow up costumes. There were people who were running like Lumiere with the candles
No
up the whole
shit.
time. I'm like, how much freaking upper body work do you need to be able to do that, right? It was just the wildest thing. So that is absolutely up there. I've only done that one once, but just the Disney environment is like so much fun, but so hard to get into. Like, unless you're like, the Run Disney is no joke. It's harder than Peloton to get into. It's insane.
Really?
Oh, it's impossible. Like, unless you have like whatever Run Disney membership, where I'm like, oh, God,
It's
it would
very
be
pricey
fun.
to do that.
But
Yeah.
it's very, very pricey. It's very, very pricey. It's super competitive to get into them. So we keep saying, if we're going to do another Run Disney race, we're going to try out the different ones, like maybe Princess or
There you
Spring
go.
Time, one of those, try and like see the different aspects of it. But that was absolutely a blast. You had the characters, the costumes, just the whole environment was fantastic. It was one of those like 5 a.m. starts. That was interesting.
Mhm.
A ton of fun though. Ton of fun.
I knew it was expensive, like
It's
one of the most
expensive.
expensive races you'll ever pay. I did not know it was really hard to get in. And that
It is
scares me
wild.
because I'm scared of like trying to do a Peloton class with Erica again. I'm like, I need Josh and Janine to sign me up because we'll get to Peloton again, but like the whole Erica and Tara were trying to sign up for classes. They couldn't get in the same class.
Get
I'm
in the
just like,
queue. Get in the queue.
I'm one and done. But you mentioned your injury. So I guess we're
Yeah.
really jumping around, but Erica and I have been following your journey for a few years now.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
had this big injury. Why don't you go into details with the injury and the whole recovery, the whole comeback story?
It has been wild, you guys. It has been absolutely wild. I've never in my life been through anything like this, like in terms of injury and stuff like that. Like I said, dancing growing up, I'd broken toe here, broken toe there, like sprained ankle, whatever. But last February, tore my ACL, my MCL, and my meniscus.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it has just been a wild experience. And I'll tell you, like, and especially for anyone who's going through or has now gone through the injury, like, it is really like life changing, like in terms of your mentality, like not just the physical side of things, but the mental side of things. Like, as much as it sucked, I've absolutely, like, I'm so grateful for that experience, because honestly, I don't think I would be where I am right now had I not had it. But absolutely took me by surprise. We were on vacation for Josh's birthday. So we were up at Sunday River. We had like one in a silent auction. We had one this like week away at Sunday River. I'm not a huge skier. Let me tell you, Eric, I watched you and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, I wish I did that stuff, right? I am not that at all, but I absolutely I love skiing. I love being outside. I love like anything snow, anything winter related. So I was super excited to do this. I'd like been starting to take some lessons, really starting to find my groove. And the second to last day, finally had like got myself off the bunny slope. I'm finding these, I'm going on the greens and I'm going on the blues. And let me tell you, I'm feeling like I am like on top of the world, like the queen of the snow. I was not, but like really, really enjoying myself. And so it was like the second to last day, and maybe like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we had, a long day of very much enjoying ourselves. Josh looks at me and he says, all right, so what do you want to do? Like, do you want to go back to the cabin? What do you want to do? And I looked at him and I said, let's do one more run.
Oh, no. Never say those words.
Oh.
You always got to say 2 more. Oh.
Now I know that.
But continue. Sorry. So one more run.
No, it was one more run. So, we go up, and I had really enjoyed this one particular run that we had done. And, I'm going down probably a little faster than I should, but I'm okay. I'm like talking to myself, you're fine, you're fine. And it's very blurry to me, but Josh, Mr. Social Media happens to have this on video, because it's like taking pictures, planning on posting. He has me on video. And I guess what happened was someone kind of cut me off, and not being an experienced skier, I didn't really know what
Snowboarders.
to do.
Ugh.
I had kind of panicked, and I keep saying like the skiing went great. It was the falling that didn't go so well. So I just I fell in just the wrong direction. Like my knee went one way, the ski went the other way, and I felt like I, I knew something was wrong really, really quickly. And, Josh came over, and immediately I said to him, I said, something bad happened. And I remember, of all the things I remember, I said to him, I'm not going to be able to run. Like something happened.
Oh
I would
no.
have bet my life it was not my ACL. It was not anything like that. But I'm like, something's not right.
Hmm.
So at this point, I take my boots off, and I'm like, all right, let me try and get up and get myself settled. And so I stand up, and my entire kneecap, like the entire knee, dislocates. And
Oh
at this
no.
point, I'm in like full on panic mode. Again, nothing like this has ever happened to me. So I am full-fledged panic. Like, what the hell is going on? So at this point, we're like close to the bottom, but not really that close. And I'm like that non-Leo that like does not like attention. Like, don't call me out. Don't, even like the Peloton calls. I'm like, hey, I just not anything
Yeah.
to like draw attention to myself, right? So I refuse to have him call for help. So there's like another little hill, and I'm sliding down a little bit at a time on my feet. I go to put pressure on it again. It dislocates. Now I'm like, what the hell are we gonna do? So at this point, we're like close to the bunny slopes. I'm scooting down on my butt, trying to get down. Just like I need to get this stuff off of me. And so
Yeah.
it's like, do you want to go to the clinic? Like, yeah, no. I'm like, yeah, I guess. Like, probably. Like, it can't hurt. Like, let's go to the clinic. Go to the clinic. They do an X-ray. Nothing's wrong. He does like the test to see, there's whatever that test is called to test your ACL. He's like, oh, well, it's not your ACL. I'm like, well, obviously not. Like, of course it's not. Like, ACL injuries, those are like athletes. Of course it's not my ACL. So they don't know what's wrong at this point. When we get home, go to another doctor, because now we're at home, we're in Massachusetts, we got to figure out what's going on here. Go to another doctor, does that damn test again. It's not your ACL. I know. Why does everyone keep telling me it's not my ACL? Obviously, it's not my ACL. He's like, let's just get an MRI. Let's see what's going on. All right. Well, 2 weeks later, I get an MRI, ACL, MCL, meniscus. So
Oh my gosh,
it
that's a
was
triple whammy that you don't
it
It
was
want.
wasn't your
triple whammy.
ACL. It was just the whole thing. It was the whole kitchen sink.
I was shocked. When I tell you guys, I was shocked. My jaw just like dropped like crazy. So anyone who's ever been through this surgery is like, no, it screws with your mind like big time. So April of last year got the surgery, like very, very, very lucky that the MCL and the meniscus healed on its own. Like, thank you, Peloton, for giving like the strength going into this, because they say, right, like having all that stuff, part of the reason why they couldn't detect it was the ACL, because my like quads were so strong. So like shout out to Peloton strength, right? And then they said like part of the help with the recovery is that, staying active ahead of time. But yeah, I had to have surgery last April, and it's just been it is a wild recovery. It is a really wild recovery. And I think it's partially like I said, the physical aspect of it, but the mental aspect of it, it's really hard when that thing that is like your stress reliever, I think it's the hardest part is the thing that was my stress reliever became the cause of my stress. Right. So it's like, how am I going to get out this stress? I've got nothing, right? I can't run. Like, I would do as much as I could when I finally could, but those things that when you have a bad day or you just have like a luck of a nod, I want to go for a run, I want to go for a walk, I want to go on the bike. I couldn't do that, right? Like, so there's a lot about that comes with like building that mental strength, coming back from an injury like that, to like building as much as like your physical and your mental strength that comes along with it. 'Cause I remember being on the floor even after I had my brace off, and like trying to do a bridge, right? Because they're like, you got to do this because it's going to build your strength. And I could not get myself more than like a couple of inches off the floor. And I remember thinking to myself, everyone says, you're going to get through this. You're going to get through this. But like what they don't tell you is like, everyone probably questions, well, what if I'm that one person who does not come back as strong? And I absolutely had myself going through that a lot of times. And like, had it not been for Josh, had it not been for my friends, my family, had it honestly not been for the Peloton community, like the Peloton community was absolutely huge in my recovery because it gave me like motivation and, people just kind of like patting you on the back. And not that you look for that external, but it's like, okay, I'm really doing this like for a reason. I'm really doing this because I can come back stronger. But man, it really like messes with your mind quite a bit. Like you have to have a lot of patience. So it's been when I hit that year mark, when I hit the 9-month mark, I started to be able to do like, I started to feel a little bit more like myself. And then once I hit
Nine
the
months?
year, 9 months, I did
Yeah, I
my
was
first
gonna
5K
ask.
back from it. Yeah. I did that first 5K back at 3 months, which I do not recommend. Like, I did not tell my physical therapist about that, but like, I was just
Shame,
scooching.
shame.
Yeah, I know. I do
Yeah.
not recommend it. I was just scooching, but like I felt like mentally I had to do that for myself, and I was super careful. I had my brace, all of that good stuff, but
Yeah.
I really felt I needed to do that for myself to just start to feel like myself again, right? It's like this identity is just taken away from
Right.
you.
Yeah.
So I did the first one at 3 months. Then and I did like a 10K back. I think it was like October, November. Oh, it was the first 10K back was the one with Disney. So that was early November. So that was about 6 months after. And then did my first half marathon back right after that 10K. So that was a really big race for me. I wasn't trying to do time. I really wanted to get back into it because when this all happened, I had just started to pick up like more distance running for myself. I was planning on doing that Shamrock Marathon
Mm-hmm.
in March, right the month after I had my surgery. I was starting to get back to training. I was building my miles, really excited about this motivation. And again, just ripped away from me. So I had to like sit
Right.
there and Sherpa Josh and Sherpa my friends that were doing that race. And while that was fun, you can like be excited to be Sherping for people. And at the same time, it's not like an either or. Still kind of feel really sad for yourself that this thing that you
Oh,
really wanted to do
absolutely.
is taken away, So that half marathon back this past November 2023 was like, I just want to get through this to like start to feel like myself again. And so that was a really good starting point into finding this like journey back for myself. And I've just been like trying to build upon that ever since, like just again staying patient, really making sure like taking care of my body, taking care of my mind. Because again, I just can't stress enough. Like, and I'm sure you guys have had your injuries, right? It's just the way it messes with your mind.
Yeah.
You really have to become stronger mentally, but also give yourself a little bit of grace in saying there's going to be ups and downs, but the trend, like it's sort of like your weight, right? You don't like they say you should never weigh yourself like every day, or the stock market every day is going up and down. But like as long
Mm-hmm.
as the trend is going forward and you're seeing progress, don't be so hard on yourself for those setbacks. So it's been a lot of that with incredible encouragement, like I said, from Josh, my friends, my family, and honestly, Peloton.
What a great support system you had. And
It's
I
really, really
totally
great.
do understand that once you have such an injury like that and you're kind of starting from scratch, like once you get the go ahead, you're like, all right, I've got this motivation back. Let's see what I can do. And you just have to make sure that you give yourself grace because you're
Yes.
starting over basically, and you can have your post injury PRs and just be proud of all the progress you make. And but it's so nice to
Absolutely.
just get the green flag to just go and start doing what you love again.
Yeah. It's funny because I measure everything, and like I'm still not at my like pre-race half marathon PR, but each half marathon that I've done since the injury, my time has been getting better and better. And it's not
good.
I don't look at that for check marks of anything for other than just myself and my progress, right?
Like you said,
So
it's the
I hope
progress, and you're seeing the
progress.
trend, the upward trend.
1000%, absolutely. So it's been a really tough but really rewarding journey because it's allowed me to look back and say, first of all, never take your body for granted. Never, ever take for granted what your body is able to do for you. Because before the injury, like physically, I was very capable of doing more than I was doing. But I think mentally something was like keeping me back from doing more. I was just like scared to push, scared to train for a marathon, scared to do this. And then the injury happened. And that's like, like it's just ripped away from you.
Yeah.
And so I've done this swap since that where it's okay, my mind is ready. My mind wants to push more. I want to like check this off and check that off. but my mind has to follow what my body's telling me now. So
Definitely. That's
it's
the
this
key.
really like swap, and I will tell you, like, again, I mean, anyone who's listening who's had an injury knows, like, you just don't take anything for granted with what your body can do. And if you are in the fortunate position where your mind and body are really allowing yourself to, are kind of meshing and really meeting each other, then it is a blessing. And, we should all consider ourselves fortunate when we're in that situation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Where would you put yourself now? Are you like at 100%, 95%, or 80?
Yeah.
Like I know it's been a long time, well over a year since the surgery, but
Yeah.
percentage-wise, how are you feeling post surgery?
Close to 100, like very, very close to 100. I don't like to say 100 yet because it's still very crickly and crackly. And it's very interesting. I think what happens with an injury like that, people are always asking me, how's your knee? And I'm like, my knee is great. It's everything else that has come from how you overcompensate for an injury like that. I'm like,
Right.
it was my left knee. I'm like, I'll be damned if everything on my right side is just like, oh my God, my right ankle, my right knee, my right hip, because it sort of like throws everything off alignment. So
Yeah.
it's trying to now, I don't like to say I'm at 100% because I'm really trying to find that balance now, like trying to do more chiropractic work, some stretching, and like really getting better with stretching and stuff like that. But
Yay.
really, really,
I am not.
I am not
Working
good
on
at it. I am not good at it. But thank God it was a very textbook case. The ACL repair, everything went exactly like, they expected. The progress has been as expected. And so it's just a matter of kind of resetting everything else that that I put a little bit extra, you put a little bit of extra pressure on when you have something like that. So really, really close.
Were you doing like PT and stuff, like scheduled just for the ACL, or are you still doing it now, or do you have to like remember what the guy had you do and do it yourself?
Yeah, it's a lot more of that. I mean, I am not a fan of it. Let's say I'm not a fan of PT. I love it, and it's the right thing to do, right?
It's
But I have a really
helpful,
hard
but
time. Yeah, it's just like stretching. I have a really hard time like pressing pause and like going to do that. So I did pretty intense PT. It was like 3 times a week, and then it went to 2, 1 every other week. So I did that just to get me back to until I got back to my first race. So I have a picture of like me and my PT with my Run Disney shirt on. I gave her flowers. So we have this really cute picture. Of doing that. And so once I hit that race, I was like, okay, I feel like I've absorbed enough to be able to do it on my own. And it's nice because it does put a little bit of the onus on you and your own accountability for if I want to do this, I have to hold myself accountable for the stretching, doing the proper like strength exercises, not just like the fun ones, right? You have to do those jump squats. You have to do those damn, jump lunges, because that's the way you're going to get better. So it's been a lot of trying to do that on my own, but also, listening, doing more around nutrition, just really trying to do like the whole body thing, because again, it's like body, mind, soul, trying to get me, to this next step, and just make sure the ACL cooperates, the body cooperates. So,
hey, you know what Peloton should do? This is genius. I hope they're listening, and I hope they give me credit and they like let me come to the studio whenever to do a ride without having to sign up the way you have to sign up now. They should have a PT series.
It would be so good.
Like a preventative maintenance type series where have one for ACLs and surgeries, knees, feet.
They have so many specialized classes for something. Yes. So that would be a really great idea if you're suffering from a certain kind of injury, like even a shoulder injury, like different exercises you can do.
And not only is it strength exercises for that shoulder, but it'll be stretching exercises and these little things. Because I know they do it for mothers just after birth.
They have like specialized yoga classes. Like, they could run with this.
Yeah.
I mean, I might know someone who knows someone who can like drop that in and give you a credit, right? Like, no, it's actually a very, very, very brilliant idea. Because so many of them like have shared their experience, right? So after I had my ACL, like we had started, to take a lot of classes with Marcel Dinkins, and had sort of, become I don't want to say close with her, but like really, very much enjoyed taking her classes. We had done the Shamrock stuff, just really become big, big, big fan of hers. And she was such an incredible support. as I was going through my ACL like recovery. And like sure as shit, like 6 months after, God bless her, she tore her ACL, her left ACL, like it was the same exact injury. So she's been, having her own journey coming back. And like
Yeah.
not just her, right? You have so many, Bex has had her own injuries, right? Like remember Selena
Yeah.
had something with her ankle, hey, like we're active, we're going to experience these things. It would be I actually think that's very brilliant, Eric.
Well, the thing is, like Erica mentioned, when she goes, "Oh, it's a good thing you're stretching," and she goes, "I don't stretch yet." Like I stretch, but I
need to
have
be
to
better at
actually
it.
take a Peloton stretching class to
Yes.
think of the good, right,
Absolutely.
creative stretches to work on what I'm working on. And they'll have lower body, upper
Absolutely.
body, maybe there'll be legs or
Yeah.
quads, right? Like they need to dabble in that. And so, yes, we
I
know
love
some
that.
people, more than one. We know quite a few now.
Yeah.
A PT series, like
I love
for
that.
and they only need to do like 2 or 3 for each injury, and then they stay there,
Yes.
and it will remind you like, okay, my PT is over, my insurance won't cover anymore.
Yes.
But hey, I have the Peloton app, and I can go in there and
Yes.
focus on my hamstring.
That's so useful.
1000%. It's a real stumbling block, like, right? You don't want people's like, insurance is what insurance is. They're going to only cover what they're going to cover. So like, I think they've
Right.
been so good about focusing on like wellness, health, like really incorporating like not just the physicality of, the workout. It's really that, whole again, the mind, body, soul. So like, I don't know, maybe we can like get something going. I'd love that.
That would be a really cool series to have, like mind, body, soul. So you would have like a meditation to start off your
Yes.
workout, and then like a good stretch, and maybe like a light cardio or something, and
Yes.
then maybe like a meditation to close it out too. Like there's so
I
many
love
different ways
this.
that they could take this, and I'm giving you credit for that. That was all you. So
I think we've just
that would be
invented,
cool
or
stuff.
Eric's just invented the next step of what Peloton, where they can grow. I love it.
Going
Keep
in
growing.
a good
We're all
direction.
going to
Yeah.
keep growing.
It's the best.
So we mentioned Peloton. Let's stick with
Love
Peloton
it.
here.
Yes.
We all know the journey of Wicked Smart Zone. We've had Josh on a few times. We know that story. But
Yeah.
at one point, I think your first studio appearance, weren't you invited to the studio because of everything
Yes.
that happened with Wicked Smart Zone?
Yes, it was. I mean, looking back on it now, it's just absolutely unbelievable. Honestly, it's been life-changing. Like, not to say it's dramatic, not to be like overly dramatic, but it really, really, really has been. And honestly, I feel like we've made some of our closest friends through this community. So, like, anybody who doubts that, it's like, what do you mean? It's just a but. No, like, I will go crazy on anyone who like says that. But yes, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a Saturday morning. And we're, just waking up for the morning, and Josh, we're still in bed, and he's like, "Oh my God." And he goes, "I just got invited to Peloton." I'm like, screw you. What are you talking about? Like this is when they were just opening after COVID. And like we felt like they
Right.
were slowly kind of trying to like drop hints that the studio was going to be open. And the number of times we kept saying, like, we've got to really watch this because I will lose my mind if I can go to Peloton once, right? And
Just one time.
Sure, just one time. And it's like, I feel like it's coming. I feel like it's coming, right? And like, they don't say anything. They don't do any of these hard launches. I'm like, okay, maybe it's not. Sure enough, they've got a really good community, member community kind of services group that like does this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And so he reads it, and then he goes, "Oh my God." And he said, because I said to him, "Well, do you think I can come too?" He's like, "I don't know." And then he goes, "Oh my God," and really like has another epiphany. So they said that they want to have me and 14 of my team members come, and I just like lose my mind. So it
If
honestly,
you don't
it was
pick me, we're gonna have some problems.
it was honestly, it was such an honor, and it was such an incredible experience. Like one, because the studio was just opening, but I say,
Mhm.
and I'll say it like time and time again, every time we go back to the studio, not just the first time, but every time we go back, and it's like a new experience for us, whether it's because we're bringing a group or because we meet somebody new. It's absolutely an incredible experience. So that I think it was June of 2022, maybe. We got to bring 14 people from our team. So we had done like at that point, it was very, very much focused on like power zone and training and stuff like
Mhm.
that. It's obviously grown significantly since then. But we got to bring 14 people. We went to a live Wilpers class, and it was just an absolutely amazing experience. And it's sort of, Wilpers he's just the best,
He's
he's such a
adorable.
good guy. He's so damn cute and just so genuinely kind. So
I have a word
really
for him, but I won't use it because it makes Erica uncomfortable.
Wait, now I need to know.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
He's a man rocket.
Man rocket.
Oh my God.
I've heard it so many times.
I get both sides of that. I totally get that, Eric. And Erica, I totally get that as well. I get both sides of it. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it because it's so accurate, yet so oddly
I just want to
weird.
Cheeks. He's so cute. I love him.
He's such a nice guy. So looking back, I love going back and taking that class because it was just sort of the start of our journey that has really since built. But I mean, I just can't say enough amazing things about the community. It goes beyond the instructors too, right? The instructors are absolutely incredible and so encouraging. And I say so many times, there are so many of them that honestly I could not have gone through this, that just helped me so much through this journey. And I try to tell them, you may not realize it. I'm sure you don't realize it. Why would you realize it? But, Marcel, Christine was really huge. I took her class the Sunday before my surgery. Wilpers has been amazing. Maddie Giacomo, Mariana, they just have been they don't know me, right? And they've been so supportive watching this and being encouraging. And whether it's just because they're nice and saying a nice thing, doesn't really matter because it's meant a lot to me. And it's really very
absolutely.
much on that.
And that they mean it too. They mean it.
Kind. They're so there's definitely a group of most of they're all very, very, very kind. But it's just beyond that. It's the people who work there, the first time I went back after the surgery was a month or so. I still had my brace on. I had to take the secret elevator because I couldn't go up and down the stairs. I'll tell you, it was a Wicked Smart Zone takeover, and it was a 75-minute class. And I'm like, no, screw you. I'm taking this class. I obviously could not take the class, but it was maybe a week before I was I'm taking the class. I didn't. I had to watch everyone, but from that point to then just going with a small brace to going with no brace, it's everyone who works there from the front desk staff to the PAs, just very, very kind people who I think because we all have something in common that, it's not just that.
Even the dudes at the door who let you in.
Yes, the security guards. Exactly. Yes, good old Frank. Shout out to Frank. He's just freaking the best, right? Absolutely. There's so many people who, they see that this is something that has happened in your life and they are just kind people. And I think because you share something in common, whether it's just Peloton itself or just an appreciation for health and wellness and fitness, that it's just, there's just been a lot of support. And it is so wild to think I really don't know most of these people. And they really impacted, the recovery coming back from ACL, but honestly, just my fitness journey. And it's been a really, really fun experience.
That's so great. And I second what you say. The Peloton community, even just the people who work there, they know that a lot of people travel and they spend their time and their money to go to experience Peloton, and they want to make sure that your experience is as wonderful as it can be. So everybody contributes to that, whether it is Frank at the front door and just everybody at the desk and
so
people in the locker rooms. It's just fantastic. So
yes,
we are very jealous.
I love the girls in the locker room are some of the nicest
so lovely
people I've ever met. They're so kind and so patient because Lord knows I've locked myself out of those lockers 6,522 times.
We had that issue when we were learning too.
Yes, I still do it. And they never so much as bat an eyelash. I'm I got you. Don't worry about it. So shout out to the Peloton locker rooms.
But everybody's just there to make sure that you are having a great time, whether it's your first time there or your 100th time there. And Eric and I are very jealous that we get to, you get to go, and we wish we were.
We'll get you in there more. Honestly, it's one of those things once you start
we live vicariously through you.
It's one of those things. Once you start to figure it out, as long as you know, if you can fit the time in, you can get yourself into a Peloton class. It's just a matter.
That's the hard part is getting the free time and stuff. And worth it.
We lived in that for a while just because of the timing. But yes, you know, you got to have your Thursdays at noon, go to the studio Peloton. And, you know, I hope
Shh, don't give
everyone
away the
does get, I
secrets.
know it's true. I did consider not.
Yeah,
doing
stop
it,
telling
but-
them.
No, it's okay.
But you know what I want you to tell us, though? You mentioned
What?
very early on this episode, and I hope people at Peloton, if they're listening, will go back and listen to our first Peloton
Yeah,
experience.
it's so good.
But give me
It's
your
bonkers.
first Peloton experience. I know you said it was the 14, but you're walking in the doors and just like
Oh
it's
my
all so
God.
bright. Was it 6 a.m. like us? Was like were you just like taken back by everything there? Like I was a little uncomfortable. Like, am I allowed to go over here? What can I do? What can I just
1000%.
I was drafting Josh the entire time, like in the locker room. In the locker room, I was like, what do I do? Where do I go? Do I take one locker? How do I do this? What do I bring my own shoes? I had all these
Yeah.
questions.
Oh yeah.
And what
That
was it
was
like
for
for
us
you?
too.
Because you didn't have someone to draft
Yes.
off of.
We didn't. I can honestly probably tell you exactly what it was like because I feel like we have the entire day documented, like one picture every 5 minutes of like every experience that we had. It was very, very similar to what you guys had. It was a little different in that, you know, it wasn't a full opening. It was like sort of their soft launch to practice. So we they gave a lot more stuff away for free. I'll tell you that much. They gave more goodies. They gave us little like goodie bags and stuff like that. They definitely don't do that anymore. But other than that, it was like that. It was the same class, like that early Saturday morning class with Wilpers. Power Zone is Power Zone endurance class. So it was the same kind of thing where I got there super early in the morning. They did it a little differently back then because like what they would do is give you priority if you had a milestone. Now everyone has a milestone, so they rightly so give priority going into the people who are first timers, right? So that they can have that like front row experience.
Absolutely.
Which is it's really, really nice that they do that. But yeah, it was very similar in that like we walked in and all of our, you know, the 14 of us all kind of came in at different times. We met the night before us, but like we were all so excited. So like we met at a restaurant bar the night before just to like hang out for a bit, and then we have to go to sleep. We've got Wilpers tomorrow. But yeah, you walk in and it was that very same moment. And honestly, to a certain extent, I still get that, right? Like I still get that. Oh my God, right? I still get those like the nerves and the excitement when I walk in because again, it's kind of like a new experience every time. But it was also a little different for us because everyone was new at that time because they hadn't done the whole studio opening. So we had a little bit of grace in that, you know, it was literally everyone's first time into the studio. They hadn't let anybody in. So we kind of cheated a little bit in that, you know, we had someone walk us through the whole thing, which they still have people doing that now. But it was sort of expected that everybody was there for the first time. There's a little bit of grace there, but same kind of thing going into the lockers, being like, what do you mean? How do you set this code? Again, I still do that because it's like the most stressful part of Peloton. And then just like going into the class, you know, Josh and I talk about it all the time because there's a 30-minute Power Zone endurance class, right? And so since that first class, we definitely had some more experiences, like when we could stack as many classes as possible. Obviously, the rules have changed since then, but like we were a solid, like we could get a solid 8 classes in a weekend, right? Like really stack them back to back. And, you know, obviously they'll walk away starving, you know, just sweating, exhausted. But looking back at that first class that we took, which again, a 30 Power Zone endurance, like, dude, that's hard. But we thought we had just like met our max at that point. Like if only we knew what was to come. But I think it was, you know, there's so much adrenaline, and you guys know, like again,
Oh, absolutely.
I still feel that way a lot of times going in now is that adrenaline and the excitement that you get from it. But that first time was definitely it was a cool experience. And then to be so fortunate to have had the opportunity to go back so many times and meet so many instructors and meet so many community members. Because honestly, like, look, I love the instructors, but like meeting the community members, like especially like people the like specific groups, right? You got your Power Zone groups and your Wilpers groups, you know, your little we're all like our little roadies for our instructors, right? Like we're big in Marcel's army with the Marcel Dinkins stuff, right? So that those communities have, again, I think that's part of just the amazing experience of being able to go back. And then once you leave the studio, take that with you, right? And that's like really the benefit of social media is like we hadn't even met until, just a couple of months ago, right? But you really, because there's this common bond and because there's this excitement, like you really do like value those relationships that you start to make with people. So we've been very blessed to not have that first experience, but just to continue to have those experiences. And I hope everyone gets to have that experience. Thursdays at noon, go on Peloton Studio.
We'll be back eventually.
I'll give away the info. I'll give away the.
No, we want everybody to have that experience really too, because it really was incredible. And Eric and I need to thank you and Josh for inviting us that one time. And I mean, it made our whole time. Like we just had such a wonderful time.
Our reaction.
You went to 4 classes, right?
Oh, she did. Yeah,
I did. I got into one other class. I took an Andy Spear run, and it was so hard and so fun. And oh my gosh, I was ecstatic. So
that's awesome.
I took the notes.
Or not.
Oh, I would have died. I would have absolutely died.
We have not done a Bex, but when we go back, it's for Bex, and we're going together.
Okay.
We're taking you with us.
You just got to watch the schedule, right? You know when she is, and then the 6 weeks, we've got you. You just let us know when you want to do it, and we'll walk you through. It's, and it's not like we have this secret sauce.
Yeah.
I'm writing an email. I'm going on the inside. I'm so scared of the signing up.
There's nothing to be scared about. Nothing at all. What's very hard about is when you're trying cool.
Well, it's in the middle of the day. It was like noon, and I had to like log in, and I'm at work, and all of a sudden I check my phone, and I have 87 unread messages from the Pterodactyl and Erica group chat, and they're like, "Hit refresh, do this." They obviously stopped working, but no, we will. Yeah, we will be back, and we want to go back for Bex, and I want to go back after my marathon in November, because then I feel like I'll be in good enough shape to run in a Bex class and not fall flat on my face on a treadmill in the studios, which brings me to my next question. You have been there so many times. Something has had to have happened. We'll call it the Peloton Studios, New York, Code Brown, because I almost had one.
Did you?
I dropped my water bottle and I caught it.
Oh, that's funny.
And our friend Allie G told us the story where she ripped her pants in an Emma Lovewell ride.
Yep.
So of all the times you've been there, has there been any Code Brown moments for you?
There's been a couple. One where I almost had a Code Brown. Like, dude, how they shut the door? They shut the door on you like 15, 20 minutes before, and they're like, you can't leave. And the second you tell me I can't leave, I'm like, oh shit, I have to go to the bathroom, right? Like that is just like the mentality of that. And I forget what class it was, but I know it was in the afternoon. I want to say it was an AT class where I was like so excited that you get like the excited, nervous stomach. And I'm like, dude, you gotta let me out of here. Like, I've got to go to the bathroom. It all turns out fine. They were very kind. They let me out. They let me back in. But like the second you tell me I can't leave, I'm like, okay, I gotta go to the bathroom. You gotta let me out. But no, the one that really, really sticks out to me was, thank God I was in the back. But they're like, they're pretty strict about like, no, like you can't have your phone on. You can have your phone with you, but like make sure it's turned off. Make sure this, that, and the other. And I want to say it was a Christine class, whatever class it was. I go to set my watch to record the activity. And instead of set my watch, I hit find my phone. And let me tell you, my find my phone works on my watch like 1 every 10 times. Half the time it's telling me like connect to the app to find your phone. I'm like, okay, if I could do that, I wouldn't need to find my phone app. So it works like 10% of the time. Well, sure as shit, I press what I think is start my ride, and it's actually find my phone, and my freaking phone goes off. I almost had a heart attack because I know like you can't do that, right?
Yeah.
I have never grabbed my phone and hit so many. I don't even know what buttons I started pressing. I just started pressing buttons to make it go off. But thank God it didn't actually continue to go off. And thank God I wasn't in the front. Because absolutely. That's like that. My anxiety was just like, oh my God, I'm that girl right now. So that was one that absolutely sticks out.
Oh no.
There was another time where my seat almost fell. I think I just didn't put it in like with all the excitement of getting your things set up, like my seat started to feel a little loose, and I think I was able to finagle it. But I remember I was towards the front on that one, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking fall and like embarrass myself. So I was able to like sneakily do that. But yeah, those were the two. Like, oh shit. Like as soon as you don't want something to happen, of course it does.
I'm glad you avoided actual
I was so
code
scared
routes,
of something happening to me. I was gonna go in the back, like not the front row.
No.
And Josh, like you said, you guys made however they do a first timers, he's ahead of us, and he kind of held 3 bikes for us, and he goes, "You guys are here," and I'm like, "Oh
You
boy,
have
I'm in the
to.
front now." I'm in the front, and like I said, I kind of dropped my water bottle while putting it down, and I kind of caught it against my leg.
You know,
Like I squeezed it between my leg, and I was able to get a grip on it.
that's some ninja shit.
If it went any more down, I would have actually kicked it forward right into Matt.
Can you imagine? Oh my God, that would have been, oh my God, that's so funny. I was gonna say, like, they're actually really good about if you drop your towel, if you drop your water bottle, like they know the camera angles, and they're always like everyone's always communicating. So you don't actually see half of like we don't like you just start to pick up on some of the things that they're doing behind the scenes, but like they're good at moving the camera so you're not on, and then someone will grab you your water bottle, grab you your towel, but it's never actually like shown on the screen. I remember like our first class with Marcel, it was a Halloween class, so she had these like red flags, and she dropped the red flags, and I'm like, what's going to happen here? And it was like very cool behind the scenes stuff where they changed the camera angle and the person came and picked the red flag up. So I've seen them a couple times when someone drops their towel or drops their water bottle. They're very like ninja-esque about, getting that back to you. But I don't know what they would have done if he would have kicked it into Wilfer's. That would have been
he would have got attention from him, and is bad attention.
I would have been on all the
attention?
memes and the reels and everything. Peloton gone wrong.
That guy in the Peloton
never invited
Facebook
back.
group.
But if I got invited back, I mean, they would have canceled Eric because they called me by the wrong name.
Oh yeah,
Eric
on the runs or whatever. Yeah, but I saw I think it was like in a Tune Arms class or something. There was like a guy off in the camera, and he gave like a wink, and people made that a meme like instantly. I was like, that's so awesome.
He
was even doing like blowing kisses too. He was like,
oh, absolutely. I'm like, have fun with that camera. Every time I see myself on camera, like I'll go back and take the class. If I do that, I'm like, oh my God, you're just sitting there and smiling. I'm like, I look like such a fool, but I'm having so much fun. Like, it's fun to have fun with.
Yeah, yeah. It was about 45 minutes of a straight smile for us. I think.
Right, your face hurts as much as your legs do. Your face hurts as much as your legs do, but it is definitely
I'm gonna go back after this and rewatch all the reels we made from that weekend, from like the whole thing. The only thing I don't understand is why did we go to Times Square? That was kind of meh.
It was Tara.
You did.
We love you, Tara.
We did. I think we wanted to go and get a picture in our T-shirts that we just got.
Oh, those were nice. The logos and stuff.
When in NYC.
When in, yeah. It is not what I thought it was, though.
That's fun. Wait, had you
we
never
can say
been
we
to
did
Times
it.
Square?
No, I think I went forever ago.
Was it Tara? I think it might have been Tara who hasn't.
Oh, that's so funny. It's a very wild experience. It makes you.
Oh, there are some characters.
Yes.
But when we go back, we're just going to go to the nice part, Peloton Studios. I'll tell you what, Peloton was not what I expected either. It was a whole lot more. So.
Oh, really?
More.
Well, it was a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much more of a production and everything, and just seeing how everything worked in unison.
It's fun.
It was, the whole place was beautiful and so well kept, and the staff was, like you said,
do a great
perfect.
job.
So we're not trying to get invited to another Peloton class right now. We're talking about, like, we love you guys. So, if you invite us, though, we're definitely not going to decline.
Good to know. I love having you guys.
Listen to her, Erica. We always love having you guys. She's like, if you work for Peloton. I want to compliment the two of you, though, because you've done these a few times now. We got invited once, but I love how every time you get Josh or you get the opportunity to bring 10, 12 new people, you're bringing new people. It's not always the same group.
Yeah, I give him so much credit for that. Like he's such a great community builder, right? Like I'm his support with that. But this honestly, like this I can't take like any credit other than the fact that I wasn't like, no, don't do this. Like that's the only credit I really take in this situation. He loves building the community. Honestly, it has been such an incredible experience for him. Like that said, hold on, I have to like give him his non-flowers, right? Whatever the opposite of flowers are. Like everyone thinks he was like Joe Peloton from the beginning. Like he was most certainly not. Let's be clear, right? He was not Joe Peloton, and he will tell anybody this, and I've told 8 million people this. So when we first got Peloton, we had just moved into our house. It was right before COVID hit, so right before everything got shut down, and it just so happened that we got the bike because we finally had space for it, right? And lucky us, COVID hit, and we had the bike to like be able to do this. And by we, I mean me. He was like not into this at all. He used to call it a fake workout because like Joe Triathlon had it worked
He's
out
eating his words now.
Joe Triathlon like had it worked out in 20 years at that point. And then like right before our wedding, he started getting back into like fitness health. His friend had done this, like, again, it was COVID. So like his friend had done this online Facebook challenge, this fitness challenge that just so happened to end on our wedding day. And I was like, you are never going to touch another weight, like your sneakers are going to like grow like spider webs on them. Like we'll see what happens after this wedding. I'm eating my words on that. But he had gotten really into like his, doing a lot of strength work and stuff like that. So he's like, what is this fake workout that you do on this Peloton? Burn on a bike. You heard it here first. Burn on a bike was like, what's this fake Peloton? Now,
I love the dirt. Let's go.
From that point forward, he was like, again, starting to get back into health and fitness. He was starting to do running a little bit. But winter in New England, he hurt his back shoveling snow and he couldn't run for a while. So he's like, okay, let me see this Peloton thing that you swear is like this really incredible thing. And the rest is history. He was just hooked. He was hooked. And I think because he's such a community builder, he saw really, really early what, I think we've all seen since then is that it's not just this like bike that goes nowhere. It's like, it really is this incredible community because his tendency is to be like, okay, let me do this, but let me see how I can connect people. So I like to give him a little bit of a hard time in that like Joe Peloton was like a little bit of a hater at first. And obviously he's so incredible since then. But yeah, I mean, I give him so much credit because he really does want so many people. But I have to give him his props that he's really built this incredible community and wants as many people to experience it as possible because it has made such an impact in his life and our lives. Like he knows that like that recovery process for me would have been very different without this supposed bike that goes nowhere that we all know is so much more. And I think he's really grateful for that for me, right? That I had that experience. And he's obviously so grateful for the experience he has had and being able to build his health and his wellness through it. So, every time we are fortunate enough to get the chance to do a group ride, we want more people to experience it. So we do try our best to try and include as many new people
It's amazing.
Possible. As hard as it is, as much as
sharing the love,
having the same
as much as we would love to go every time.
we love it's our hardest thing in the world. Our good friend Cece, we love you, Cece. We'd love to have her every time. Our friend Jen, Gus Grip Jen, right? Love to have all you guys all the time. But it really is. As much as we can do to get more people to experience it. And then we can continue to go through, right, as we do more of these. The last one was fun, though. We got to do the whole studio takeover. So that was the first time we did that, which was wild, which was absolutely
Is it always
wild.
mat rides when you get to the invite?
It's by our choice, right? So we just
It'd be my choice too.
Rides. Yeah, we tend to pick mat rides. One time they let us do a tread and a bike class. So we did a mat ride. I think that was the time you guys were, I don't know. I can't remember, but we did a mat ride and a Marcel run. Because we just love Marcel. So we tend to pick the mat classes just because. So it has always been a mat class. And I think it always will be a mat class.
Matt's awesome. Plus, he's got a great time slot, so it definitely factors in.
There's you. Great. I am not an early morning person. The only thing
I'm not either, but it lets you do more at the studio.
It does. I'll be damned if like I'm not an early morning workout. Like I don't do my runs early morning. I'm a night girl, right? But I will
Same,
get up
same.
without. Yes, I love that. There's so few of us.
I
So
know
few of
it's
us.
hard to come by.
It really is. But like I will get up without complaint for that Peloton class, like 5 o'clock in the morning, no problem. Let me set my alarm so I can go take, a 7 o'clock mat ride and whatnot. So
Worth
it's worth it.
it.
Well, Jenene, you listened to the podcast because when we
Yes.
first connected here before we went live, you're like, oh my God, you're still sick. So you know a few things we do, and one is called the Code Brown Commandments. I believe you know very well what a Code Brown is and what I'm looking for here. We are looking for advice like thou
Yes.
shall use diaper rash cream to cure chafing.
Yes.
Tricks of the trade, something to avoid
Yeah.
a Code Brown, any oh crap moment. Do you
Yes.
have something to add to our Code Brown
Yes.
Commandments list?
Yes, I absolutely do. I have two sort of, or one and a half. The half is it depends on the type of person that you are, because I am not a like, let me get to my corral super, super, super early. I am the let me stay by this porta potty as long as humanly possible before I have to get into my corral and run. So that even just mentally, I can say, look, you just used the bathroom. You do not need to use the bathroom again. So that's the half, because I know that's
Oh,
not for everybody. Like Josh would be like, no, screw you. Like I'm getting into my corral. I'm getting there. That's not me. So I will wait as long as possible before I do that so I can use the bathroom at the very, very last minute. I do that with Peloton too. But you know what actually really, really helps me is if it's a race where I can listen to music, I always have one or two songs that like mean something to me so that I can listen to that song and it actually distracts me. So this happened on at my last half marathon. It was probably the closest I've come to like a Code Brown moment where I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And sure enough, my music changed, and it was a song that like I really got into, and it distracted me. And those distractions, you don't really have to go to the bathroom. You are just nervous, you just have something going on. If you can play a trick on your mind, then you will get distracted, and chances are that will probably pass. So if it is a run, if it is a ride, if it is whatever it is where you can have music, have a couple songs that like you can get distracted by, because it will like absolutely distract you. And I forgot that I was gonna like have to stop really, really quickly right after that. That one will forever be ingrained in my mind, because it was the first time I was like, I'm not gonna make it. It's not gonna happen. And then the music
and it
kind
will
of
help the time
distracted me.
pass.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So on
I
that
live and
note,
die by
Jenene,
that. Yeah.
Good
speaking
segue,
of
Erica.
songs, I tried. We have this amazing Spotify playlist, and I think
love
you
it.
even mentioned that to us when you were
I
driving
love
down to
it.
Peloton Studios. You're like, yes, you finally did it.
Yes.
What song would you like to add to our playlist? Because we love to invite our guests to add something. So, I mean, on the note of a distraction song, or it's just something that pumps you up.
Yes, I will say, Ariana Grande, Break Free. Because you know what? It's
Excellent.
very catchy, right? It's a good, it's got a good beat to it. But if you actually stop and listen to the words, they're very good. So if you've got it always tends to come on where I'm like, oh my God, why am I doing this, right? And it's like a really good song too. So it's got the dual benefit of
I love it.
good song, good meaning, good distraction. The next time you hear
Perfect.
it, think of me and my almost Code Brown.
That you avoided by listening to that song.
I avoided. Thank you, Ariana Grande.
You run into Ariana Grande one day. You say, Ariana, I was about to shit myself. And then your song came on and you saved me.
She'll
I was going to be like, thank you? Question mark?
She'll remember me. Oh my God, how funny. Yeah, it's true.
That'd be a memorable
very
moment.
true.
So,
Very
hey,
true.
we've talked about a lot. We have a lot more to talk about, or that we could talk about. The notes, like I have the whole fundraising with the big breakfast you do and everything, and the communities you built with Do Wicked Good and with Wicked Smart Zone. But we've gone long. I want to hear what's next, because you've teased it a few times. Fingers crossed, you're going to move above that half marathon.
Yeah. Chicago, you guys, Chicago Marathon in October. I finally, it's been a long time coming. I've had it on my bucket list to do a full marathon for some time, but like I said, I think mentally I just didn't feel ready to do it. And then as I start to get more ready for it mentally, I was like, it was with the Shamrock Half Marathon. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do the Shamrock Half Marathon this year, last year, and next year I'm going to do the full. So I like started to really be like, okay, I can do this. That did not happen. Right. So I decided, okay, I can do this. I really want to start to do it. So Josh and I put our names in for the lottery. We did not get it. Not a big surprise.
I feel like
But
nobody got in this year. It was so hard.
It's just so wild. This is just a whole new world for me. It's been so fascinating. But at that point, I had started to like really kind of pump myself up. Like, okay, I think I can really do this. Again, like mentally,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm coming back. This will be like really, really, really great redemption, but it'll just be really something that'll be really, really good to tax myself. And like, I've wanted to do it for so long. If not now, after all of this, like when? So
Right.
I knew when I got the email that I wasn't accepted from the lottery and I felt disappointed. I knew that, okay, it was definitely the right time. So I'll be damned if. So I said to Josh, I'm like, I still really, really want to do it. Let's look
Mhm.
at charities. Like, like Eric said, we are really into fundraising. Like, I'll raise money, quite frankly, for anything that's a good cause.
Mhm.
So sure enough, we go on the website, we start to look at charities and come across this lung cancer foundation that I have
Is
done
it the
a
one
ton of work.
that's on your shirt right now? Very nice.
Yes, thank you very much. Like shameless plug for Team Longevity. I just love them so, so, so much. But the funny thing is I hadn't even thought about them in terms of the race. I have been participating with them since doing like fundraising, doing walk. I'd been on the planning committee for their walk in Boston. It had just become, one of the cancer charities that I had been very, very involved with since losing my mom. And I'm going through the charities and all of a sudden it's Teen Longevity. And this is the day that the lottery came out. So like there just so happened to be, I emailed her right away and I said,
Yeah.
my husband and I didn't get in the lottery. This is my story in terms of like, I've done a lot of stuff for the Breathe Deep walks. I've done a lot of like lung cancer. Like I consider myself a pretty avid lung cancer advocate. Do you still have spots? And I swear, like within a half an hour, she wrote back and said, yes, you and your husband, like we'd love to have you.
Nice.
So it has been such a serendipitous experience for me because not only did I have my mind set on doing my first full marathon, but to be able to do it for this team and to do it in memory of my mom, like I cannot think of anything that's going to be better to get me through like every step of those 26.2 miles.
Absolutely.
So that's why like I'm nervous as hell. Like I said, I'm not a distance girl. Like half marathon has been my thing, but there's so many motivations behind this, like between coming back from the ACL surgery, the mental side of things, and then obviously just doing this, in memory of my mom and like everybody else who we've come to learn has really just been impacted by this disease. It's been so serendipitous. And to do it with Josh, he's done a couple of marathons now at this point, but this is the first major. So he's going to use this to qualify for Boston, knock on wood. And I'm just going to like,
Yes.
I'll see him at the finish line. But it is really, really special because he never got to meet my mom. So it's really, really special to have him doing this for, to be doing this together for so many reasons, physical, mentally, spiritually, is just the coolest thing I can ask for. So every time I get a little nervous, I also just simultaneously get really excited too.
Well, I certainly hope that you guys both have an incredible experience. Chicago, as you may have heard, is my favorite of the majors.
Yes.
Sorry, Boston. But you guys are going to have a great time. It's a wonderful place. Go explore, spend time there, eat the food, eat all the food, and
all those pizzas.
Yep. Just keep raising the money for Team Longevity.
That's what we're doing. Really excited.
It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited for you. Or as I should say, I'm wicked excited for you.
Wicked.
I still can't even pull it off, you guys. I can't even say wicked excited. I feel like such a fool every time I say it. But
I have the wicked thing down I'll say wicked, but it's hard to do it with the accent. Like I have to make myself have the Boston in there. So don't feel bad.
See, I don't really have the accent. I've just always used the word. It's always been in my vocabulary. And then I
you
had
pull
the
it off.
T-shirt that says "Wicked Awesome." So my big thing is not so much wicked; that's wicked awesome.
Yeah. You can pull it off. You can definitely pull it off.
Well, you are wicked awesome. Josh
Thank
is wicked
you.
awesome. Thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for including us in your
I
lives
love
over
you
the
guys
last
so
few
much.
years.
Our pleasure.
Like seriously, Josh was a big part of this podcast being from the beginning.
I remember
He was episode
that.
maybe was it 12 or 13?
Was it?
I think
But it was
so.
before that because
early days.
Wow.
it was before that because I was trying to build this and we just created a Facebook page, which we never use anymore. And he just accepted us into the Wicked Smart Zone page. And one day I
Wow.
messaged him and just said, "Hey, am I allowed to share my podcast on the Wicked Smart Zone page?
Smart.
And do you want to come on the podcast as well?" Because we only had 4 guests at that point, and we were trying to find people locally or someone. So he was just awesome because he came on the podcast. He built that community. Him and I have bounced things off each other for years now.
Yeah.
A little less now because we know what we're doing, but especially when I was starting the podcast and when he was starting his thing, we would bounce things all the time.
Of course.
And I'm pumped for him, his podcast.
Yeah,
We tune in, or I tune in, I know it. And that's how I knew I unfortunately you had a dog that passed away
We
a year
did.
ago.
Yeah.
And that's how I found out. And then I talked to him again. So he's the man.
Yeah.
You're the best. You are the better half. You have to admit that.
Thank
You're
you.
the better half.
Well, congratulations to you guys. I can't believe it was that early. And
It was over 100 episodes ago. How crazy is that?
I'm so happy for you guys. This is so wonderful. I'm such a
Thank
such a great community. Honestly,
He's gonna be jealous that you are doing it on Riverside, and I'm gonna do all the clips, and you'll be on YouTube. And he's just on the original Facebook Messenger I think we used. And
isn't that funny? Wow, how much you've grown! I'm so proud of you guys. That's awesome.
Thank you so much for jumping on the pod. Good luck in Chicago, Erica. Send Jenene off.
Oh my gosh. I'm sending all the vibes, all the healthy training vibes and amazing experience vibes. All of it's headed your way. You and Josh have an amazing time. We're going to be following along. So I hope you guys are going to be documenting it on social, or else I might have to take a trip. Well, good.
Yes, it will definitely be documented.
Thank you so much for coming on. You are officially part of the PodFam. I mean, you were before, but now you have your own episode, so you're official. So thank you again, Jenene. You're wonderful.
It's been so much fun.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. We're super happy. We had she's one of our OGs. She's one of our foundation. The poster's right here.
Oh, I love that poster.
You might be in that photo. I'm not. Yes, you are, because I have the Peloton photo, right, Erica? So you are in there. You're part of the Peloton
I'm gonna have to look.
fam.
Mine's
You're
up
part
there
of the foundation. Thank you so much, guys.
pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed Jenene Vernon on the On the Runs podcast. That was wicked awesome.
Jenene, oh my gosh, we love you so much. Thank you for sharing all of your stories. We're so happy that you made that comeback, and still I'm very jealous of all of your Peloton excursions. we gotta go back and join you sometime.
So everybody here is a member of Peloton, right?
Yes.
Yes. So we have, Jen's not.
I don't have a Peloton.
Jen's a
We'll let
Jenner.
it slide. We'll let it slide.
Sammy wants to go to Peloton Studio.
I definitely want to go.
Lindsay wants to go. We're going to try to go again this winter and make it a big group. So we need Josh and Jenene. We got people here. We got connections at Peloton, but we got to make this happen. We have some people who watched all our videos last time when we went for Matt, that man rocket. What a
I was
man.
so envious of you guys.
I just got the Lululemon September members retreat email the other day, but I can't make it because it's Reach the Beach weekend, and I'm like, no. So Lululemon, send me another one for your next one. I'd love to go. I think that'd be a blast.
So let's talk New Hampshire 10 miler.
Yeah,
I've been talking about doing this for months, but I didn't sign up till this week.
I hate it.
I
hate it
signed
so
up
much.
the other day. Let me tell you, I got so much crap from 4 people. I'm looking at 3 of them right now. I made the stupid decision of taking a screenshot that involved the price of the race, and all 4 of you, pterodactyls included in this, gave me so much shit for paying $70 for this race. But one person who gave me so much shit signed up the next day.
That was me. So one of the kickers, I don't know if you guys have heard of that Rakuten website where they basically, you get money back if you buy through their website, but it's just an extension. And I had $56 sitting in my PayPal account from them. So I was like, this is kind of free money. So I got to run this a little bit cheaper, even though that's like girl math, I guess.
I mean, it makes sense to me.
But it's still money.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I didn't miss it. I didn't know I had it. So then, I just said fuck it, and I said
I got my bib for free.
There you go.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
speaking of
That's
math,
the way to do it.
Yeah.
we have the mathletes here.
Yes, we do.
And we didn't see them until the very beginning of the race because they were right up front and center, starting line. We had Jen, Jenna, Sammy, and Sam ready to go at the start. I jumped into your photo just unexpectedly. I don't think you saw me coming. And I said one thing to you, Sam, right before. I looked at the other Sam and I go, I want you to beat him.
Did you?
How'd the race go, girls?
No way.
Oh, Sammy and I finished together as a photo finish.
Yes, we did. But Jen actually took off right at the very beginning, and I was like, oh, I'm never catching her. She's so much faster than I am. But I think I ended up catching it 4 miles in, maybe.
4 miles
somewhere
in, there was a hill,
Yeah.
and I was crushing it, but my back started giving out, and I was like, oh no, we're going down, we're going backwards, and I could hear Sammy behind me, and I was like, oh, I gotta push.
I'm a heavy breather.
I know it's her from all our runs together. And she passed me, and I was like, I can't stop. I'm going to get to the top of the hill, and then I'm going to fly down, catch her, and then I'm going to stick with her for the rest of the race no matter what her pace is.
Yes.
And that's what we did. And it was just pushing each other up every hill. It was like, one more cone. The cones are very helpful.
We were counting the cones the whole time.
Yeah.
It was the perfect interval training was to literally just count the cones as we're going up the hills. So.
6 cones on this hill. 1,
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
3, up the hill.
Doing that math, that runner's
doing
math.
the math,
Runner's
exactly.
Are you a cone hugger or do you kind of hug the edge of the street?
Because we were running side by side, I was more of the cone hugger today, and Sammy was the road hugger today.
So I have a problem. I got to hug the cones because the breakdown lane is very slanted and I can't deal reach the beach. That killed me. And then here, so I actually kind of was to the left of the cone illegally in the road because it was flatter, and that's how I ran so fast.
That's what I did. I
do
gave
what you
Sammy
gotta
the
do.
inside curve.
Yeah. The
So-
cant in the road for that last mile was so
Yep.
steep.
Yep. So photo finish. Do we know who actually was ahead? Remember, it's torso, not head.
I know.
Watching
We learned
the
that in the
Olympics.
Olympics this year.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
we
right.
should've leaned.
We should have leaned.
Yeah.
Sarah.
According to Millennium Running, our times were exactly the same.
Yes.
We also got 3rd in each of our age groups.
Wow, congratulations.
So we're talking the 20 to 25 and the 25 to 30 age group.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And with third came an award.
Yes.
What do you have?
We got a beer glass and
A cooler
a
bag.
cooler bag.
Cool.
Oh, that's sweet. I saw the cooler bag. I was jealous. Maybe I'll just have to get faster.
You gotta start
felt-
training with the athletes.
Yeah, well, I'm going to one of these days. One of these days, I get invited every
I
weekend.
know.
and
I'm just keep inviting us.
that's
keep
what I
inviting
said.
us.
It's- I said, I swear to God, I hope you don't think I'm a note person because I'm
Nicole,
really
whatever
a
you're
person.
doing, it's working because he is kicking all of our asses. Well, at
It's
least
either
mine.
it's either Nicole or Nala. Nala pulled me through a run the other day. That was fast. How many times were you like, do we have to slow down? And I'm like, I think Nala has to slow down.
She looped around you?
No.
She was
I
pulling.
would totally try that, though. That might be weird, but I would try
I
it.
should attach her to you. Yep.
She always cuts me off.
Yeah.
She pulls and runs right in front
She
of
has to
me.
be in front. She has to be the leader of the pack.
She doesn't let me pass.
I don't know, Sammy, I don't know if you listened to last week's episode yet because it just dropped the other day. We're recording. It's obviously Saturday. But I gave you major kudos there. When you pulled over on the side of the road just randomly, all of a sudden pulled over, and I almost rear-ended you, you went and picked up that dog bag.
I did.
Yes.
Yes. I had to go back to pick up the dog. Yep. That's
You are
a
good people.
responsible dog parent right there.
Yep.
Good.
To go get the dog poop. Yep.
So we kind of know how Jen's race went, but back her, and then Sammy passed her, and Jen's like, I can't let her beat me. Sammy, how was your race?
So my race was good, and actually Jen helped me at mile 8, I think it was. I feel like with this race, every even mile is actually a hill. And at I think it was mile 8 where I was really, really struggling. My legs were hurting, and I stopped for a second like I was going to walk, and Jen would not let me. She was like, no, you're coming with me. And so we literally powered up that hill, and we just coasted that last mile. It was perfect. But yeah, she pulled me that last bit there.
There you go. Team athletes.
Teamwork.
How did Sam do? The other Sam.
Ooh, he got 59 minutes, I think.
Whoa.
He said he wanted under an hour. And he crushed it.
Crushed it.
Yeah.
We could not catch him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm out.
Holy shit.
Even fathom that.
Yeah.
Broken
Right.
my legs.
Right?
Nope,
So-
I'm out.
Has Sam gotten his sunglasses back, by the way? Sam is also known as Jesus. He saved me at the Mount Washington Auto Road race when he supplied me with sunglasses. I don't think he's gotten them back
He
yet.
is not. And I actually just told him like last week that I'm still holding them hostage for some reason. They're in my car. But maybe I should actually give them back, probably today.
They're nice sunglasses.
They are.
I read when I saw him in the woods stretching, getting this warm up, I go, hey, look, I didn't forget today. I got them.
Did he say that I was holding them hostage?
No, he seemed to forget. I think he first looked at me and was like, that guy stole my sunglasses. And I was made sure to say, Sammy has them. I gave them to her right after the race.
Yep.
She had them.
Yep.
So
He knows.
they're in the Subaru. The other amazing person we have here is you are all very familiar with her, a member of our PodFam since the early days, episode 17. We have Miss Rachel Runs for Medals. What's up, Rachel?
Hi, everyone. It's glad to be back.
How is life in Boston these days?
People just aren't friendly in Boston like they are in New Hampshire. I miss coming to New Hampshire for races like this because everyone waves, everyone says hello. In Boston, everyone's kind of all business and in, their own little world. They don't wave, they don't say hello. So it's great to be back up here with all my little New Hampshire friends.
You were saying you missed your Londonderry Rail Trail area today.
I did. And I've been coming up for the last month.
And we just added porta potties for you.
Yes, I wasn't sure if those were from like the local Thursday 5Ks they do and they forgot them, or if those were a new thing.
Permanent fixture.
I hope
Yes.
they are because they're super nice. They're clean. There's 3 of them.
Yes.
That's right. We should put some on the run stickers inside with
After-
the little QR code.
How have you not already done
I
that?
know.
We will sponsor porta potties one day. We have actually one time.
Oh.
Yes, the 5K for Jay. We bought the porta potties. Cool. How'd your race go? You and I were running and cruising for quite a bit together.
We were. I was feeling good. I think, as Sammy had said, I think she has a good point that every even mile marker was a hill. And I think we were about mile 3. We were cruising, going downhill. And I looked at my watch and realized we were maybe going a little too fast. We got a little too hyped up talking about on the runs for a little bit. And
We were cruising.
we realized there was a photo op coming up ahead with, the beautiful Lake Massabesic in the background. So the two of us ended up pulling over, waiting for everyone else to catch up so we could all sort of take this photo together. So I'm curious to see how that comes out tomorrow.
We were like, hey, let's get into a formation, Blue Angels here. And we picked the exact angles we were going to go. So I was on the outside, the furthest ahead, and everyone was kind of like staggered behind another foot. And this one guy in a red shirt actually noticed what we were doing, and he got out of our way.
He did. And then I think we didn't realize the photographer had already taken our photo.
Yeah, that's true. We were like, this came up wicked fast. Then
I cheesed for a while. I was like, woo! We're like half or a quarter mile away, and here I was like jumping and woo! I had a blast.
At about that point, we all separated. I want to know, did you guys see the Cardinal?
Yes. Yes, at about the 5 mile, the little out and back turnaround, that's where we saw him. And it's interesting because I don't think I've ever seen anyone running in a full-blown costume at this race.
It's too damn hot.
It's too hot for this. It's too hilly.
And also trying to run in something like that, I feel like I would probably trip and fall.
Probably trip
Yeah,
too. I
they
said
would
that
all
at the
get caught.
beginning. I was like, is he wearing a long dress? Because I was like, I fall on flat ground. Imagine something more around my ankles.
The whole thing just looked really hot, and it's already hot and humid. I mean, today was a beautiful morning. It's kind of on the cooler side to what's typically here for this race, but more power to him.
The other awesome person we ran into today was just after the 5 mile mark. We found the originator of the term "don't forget to stretch." Hashtag no Insta Shauna was at her mom's house in the driveway with the 2 babies. She had munchkins waiting for us. They were cheering. You actually stopped I stopped too, but I was ahead of you. And then when you got there, I kept going and you stopped. How was it running into Shauna?
Well, I saw Shauna last year as well during this race. And you know what? I really appreciated the break because she's kind of on a hill and, she had donuts. So who doesn't like donuts? But it's always good to see her because I don't see her on Instagram.
That's right.
I could not eat that donut. She told me about them and I was like, yeah, donuts. But by the time I got there, I was like, I'm going to puke everywhere. So I stopped for a good 30 seconds at least and just got to say hi, got a hug. I gave little Ellie a fist bump. So she's super cute. And that was a good stopping point.
That's right. I had 1.5 munchkins and I regretted it too.
How did you only have a half? Who ate the other half?
No one.
Puked it.
What a waste. How do you stop at a half for a munchkin?
Chocolate one, and I think it was a blueberry, and I didn't like it. In my stomach, at that point, I thought I was screwed. And then for some reason, like 30 seconds passed. I'll be honest, I ran the corner, and I thought, like, I am going to Code Brown.
Code Brown?
But whatever happened in my stomach...
Wait, would half a chocolate munchkin really make you shit yourself?
No. It's just I think it was the blueberry.
I was gonna code green.
Oh yeah.
I think it was the blueberry, and that corner at 6 miles, I thought I was screwed. And then you had that wicked downhill, and I cruise on downhills. Just ask Sammy. Like we ran how fast down those mountains? Up, not so fast. Down, wicked fast.
Yeah, we crushed those downhills.
And then I felt like it went away, but I was worried for about 30 seconds. I was worried. But thank you, Shauna, for the munchkins. What were you, let's go Sammy and Jen. What were the two of you eating during the race?
I had a UCAN gel, probably about mile 4, and that's, I think, what pushed me to catch Sammy, was that UCAN gel, because you can do it. Yeah. And I carry a fanny pack of water, and I kept I would take a sip, and then
Give
Sammy,
me a sip.
I was like her little camel pack.
Yeah.
For the last 6
She's
miles.
my running mom.
That's teamwork right there.
Yes.
You want a sip? Yes.
There you go.
I love running with honey stinger chews. Those are my favorite. I always, depending on how hungry I feel, I'll grab either 1 or 2 of them and then just coast through the race.
So do the two of you pull from aid stations, or do you bring your own water? Will you take a water or Gatorade from there, or are you like, nope, waste of time, I got to keep going?
I usually don't bring anything under 10 miles, or 10 miles or under, I should say.
I've been training with a fanny pack for Chicago, so I wanted to practice for a race with it. So just seeing how much water I would take, depending on the heat, and I usually run for Boston with it too. So that's what I usually bring because it's easier. And I always miss the cup, and then I have to stumble backwards for a cup because I slap it out of their hand instead of grab it. And then I'm a choker too, so it sucks all the way down, and so just a squirt bottle. A little nicer on the.
I was very thankful for your water that you had because it had electrolytes in it too. And it was perfect. So thank you.
I just got into the buoy electrolytes. They're a little more gentle on the tummy. No more Code Browns.
There you go. Avoid the Code Brown, but don't fear the Code Brown. Lindsay, let's talk about you here for a second. Because, Lindsay, I feel like if your head wasn't attached, you would forget your head sometimes.
That is 100% accurate.
What happened to you? We all got here in the parking lot. We went and started the race. Well, we went to the start of the race. Then all of a sudden, you're like, I got to go. I got to go back to the porta potty. Should I go into these porta potties or should I run over there and do the single one? And then you came back and you're like, I got to go back to the porta potty. What the freak happened?
Listen, I looked at the porta potty lines. I was like, I don't feel like waiting in those, but I know there's a porta potty down the trail. So I figured I'd take my chances, run down there. I get there, no one's there. Put my water bottle down outside, get into the porta potty so there's no toilet paper. That was the start of that was awesome. I ended up having to use the toilet paper roll.
You got to do it.
You're welcome, everyone.
Thank you for bringing the content.
Yep, you're welcome, everyone. And then I leave the porta potty and get back to the start of the race and realize I don't have my handheld water bottle. So I contemplated just leaving it there, and then I realized my car key was in it, and I didn't want to take any chances with someone possibly picking it up and doing whatever. I didn't want a Boston repeat.
Yeah, no Boston repeats there.
I recall that.
Yeah.
That actually came up in conversation at mile 1.5 when we realized not maybe she was in the back, but we're like, do you think she even made it to the starting line on time?
I did not.
Is she lost? Did she lose her shit and she didn't even start the race? And we never saw you until probably solid 20 minutes after the race. When the race started, where were you?
When the race started, I was coming off the trail. And approaching the parking lot.
Did you go all the way back to the starting line so you
so I could cross the timing mat so it would actually...
Okay, so you started in dead last then?
Yeah, actually, I think there was one person behind me.
So when I ran high school cross country, we would do these races like the Atkinson Road Race. That was a popular one. We would always start in the back. The goal was start in the back, never get past. So if you pass somebody, you had to keep them behind you.
Yeah.
Did you ever get past?
I mean, I passed plenty of people, but then also as I was getting more, first of all, I started off the race, just my warm up miles were too fast for me. So
Trying to
I'm
catch
already
up to us.
by the time I'm, turning onto whatever the road that goes by the lake, I'm already out of breath. I'm like, I'm 1 mile in. This is ridiculous. And so, yeah, I was very slow today.
And how you doing?
I was like, oh, there's an 80-year-old passing me. This is, yeah, it tracks.
How you doing now after wiping your butt with the cardboard toilet paper
I feel
roll?
great.
Yeah. You want a butt wipe? I got one right here in my napkin. I got butt napkins.
Are you sure? Are you going to throw it away after? No.
No, it stays in the what
I
is this
want
called?
your-
I wear a fit belt. Stays in the fit
flip
belt.
belt.
The flip belt.
Yeah, stays
No,
in the
I
flip
want
belt.
your shirt.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
right there.
No,
Just
no.
kidding. That's that. No, I wore that the other day. It might be the one though.
You did tell me if that's the one you wore from when we ran. You said that was the one you wiped with.
It was not the new Gallup one, not the one that says on the runs on it. Would have been fitting though. Would have been great. So I don't know. That might be the one. Code Brown on my 39th, Jen. I don't know if you heard that. Was not prepared. All right, Erica, you're right there with Rachel. Real quick, give us a rundown of your race. You hate this race. You despise this race. You said you'd never do it again. But I have a feeling after how much fun today was, you'll do it again.
Maybe. I still hate this race. It sucks.
We complain the whole time.
Yeah. So Rachel and I have kind of a different dynamic than Jen and Sammy, where they'll push each other up the hill. I'm like, Rachel, I need to walk. And she's like, okay. But we'll be like, all right, let's run to this point, like the mile 7 marker. Let's just run there and then we can walk. And so we do that and then hell yeah, we walked. But what's crazy is those downhills really carry you. So we walked most of that crazy uphill on Spofford and I still had a 10:39 mile average. It just is nuts how this race works.
I was honestly thinking about the year that they did it in reverse. And I was like,
Really?
yeah, they did it 1 year in reverse. And I was thinking about that hill you go down at mile 6.5. And I was like, this would be a bitch to go up another direction.
Right?
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did it. We did it.
Did it. I think it was fun.
Still hate it.
Those first 5 miles were so much fun. I took off after that, but that was a blast running with all of us. I have a feeling the people running around us had so much fun listening to all of us chat.
It was basically a podcast episode.
Yeah.
you
but
should have just recorded that whole time. Just
I
use
mean,
someone's phone.
They would have gotten me going.
I would have been I'm so sad I missed that part.
It was
It was just literally
Not that
me
I would have been
going,
able
I'm
to
gonna
keep
throw up.
up.
I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. Can we walk? Can we
I would have
walk?
been like, I'm going to poop my pants.
There was a little bit of that talk too. It was this.
So it was
course
the
is
3 of us.
challenging,
It was
so.
you, me, and Rachel, Tara Pterodactyl, Jen. There was even a few others we kind of knew. Really, you guys know them. The girl with the red hair. What's her name?
Okay.
Kay. And there's a couple others who really Tara knew, and it was a lot of fun, and that was a blast. Pretty much.
That's basically the reason I signed up for this damn race was because
The
there's
people.
so many people
It
running
is so much fun.
It's slightly
It sucks, but it's
overrides
fun.
the fact that it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what we got to do, though? We got to convince Sammy and Jen one day to start in the back with us and run with us the
Party
whole time.
pace.
Party pace.
You know how when you do reach the beach and you get kills every time you pass, you guys can just keep track of all the people you pass. That'll be a fun thing. Get one of those dog counters.
Oh, the little
clicky
clickers.
things.
The
Yeah.
clickers, yeah.
Got you.
I have breaking news, by the way.
Yeah.
I have just committed in the last hour to Jen and Sammy to fundraise for the New York City Marathon in 2025.
No shit, dude.
Yes.
Jen said it's only how much?
$3,000. Yeah.
All right.
$3,000.
Yeah.
So I committed because a couple reasons. One, the 2 of you are running.
Yes.
Excellent.
Math
Really,
is-
number 1, Hannah's running.
Excellent.
That's right.
Oh,
'Cause
that'll be
Hannah's
great.
my sister. She's doing the 9+1. She's not a runner. She just ran her first half marathon in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing another one in a couple weeks here in the Seacoast. I can't remember the one, but it's on October 27th.
Okay.
It's the day after my dad's birthday. I don't know which one, but I do know I have a cheer comp that day. Sorry, Hannah. I'll figure it out. But she's doing the New York City because she's doing the 9+1. I'm like, I have to go to cheer her on. Allie G's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Jen and Sammy are going to be there, I know there's others who said they're.
I'm gonna
Lindsay's going to do it.
I'll do it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I don't have New York yet, so.
Yes.
We're doing it. And then you're going to have to come along and cheer and get content.
I will do that. I've already run it twice, so I've had my fill of the race itself, but I would love to come cheer you guys on because I'm actually next year I am running Chicago again. Either I get in lottery or I fundraise for that. So that's my goal for next year.
So On the Runs is going to be on 3 road trips next year, possibly. Boulder, which we talked more about yesterday internally.
Yep.
New York City and Chicago. Holy shit.
You guys are all welcome to come back to Chicago.
I would love to do Chicago.
That's my favorite race.
We'll see how Chicago goes this year, but maybe Chicago again next year.
I love that race so
We're
much.
hoping to
It's so
do
great.
New York and Berlin next
Hell
year with
yeah.
Boston too.
Oh, that's
so.
gonna be a fun fall for you if you try to cram the Chicago back in there too.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm already, doing it. We're training.
Yeah.
Yes. But our whole Mathletes crew is doing New York. So it'll be a good fundraising season. I do my annual fundraiser in March, so we're just going to tag everybody in.
Nice.
The Backyard Brewery is already committed to helping us fundraise with brewing a beer together for the Mathletes.
Cool.
So we'll let you know when that's going on in November. So we're going to have a big crew.
Well, keep us in the loop on all that. We'll pump the tires for it on the pod. We'll do some of our own too with you. We'll do it all together. We'll get that, $3,000 each, you said?
$3,000 each?
I can do it. I can do $3,000.
That's cake.
In a
Compared
year?
to Boston, that's cake.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got a huge supporting, crew on the pod and everything. We can do it. We're gonna have to start traveling to these races and do some cool things, get cool content. So I do think, correct me if I'm wrong, you just got your 6-star, Rachel, last March.
This past March, yep.
So we haven't talked to you since then. Real quick, tell us about Tokyo.
So Tokyo is amazing. I wouldn't have wanted to finish the 6-star journey any other way. I think after having to go through that 14-hour flight and the jet lag, I think that was the proper way to finish the journey, just to have that extra bling at the end. And really, the course is beautiful. The people are so friendly. The atmosphere was great. The city was super clean. It was the ultimate way to finish that 6-star journey.
Did you do the whole Tokyo tour after Erica did? Did you take Erica, did you give her tips on where to go and the things to see?
I did actually, but Rachel got to spend a little more time there than I did. So she got to see way more and go to see some cool places.
Yeah, so Erica let me know about a little thing called Get Your Guide. And it's a tour group where you can book tours for basically anywhere. Mm-hmm. And I know we were really going to struggle with we were really worried about a language barrier when we got there. So I think having Get Your Guide really helped to have an English-speaking tour guide. But the whole family went because we were finishing the 6-star journey. So the whole family went. Every day we had a tour booked. Every day we're up at 5 a.m. going for a tour, except for marathon day. So I was very exhausted. It was not a PR for me by any means. It was more of just a finish and get that medal and bring home the bling.
Awesome.
You had a hot day too. That was quite warm at the end of that Tokyo.
It was. It started off kind of cool, but it was almost 60 at the finish. So it was a bit warm. It was full sun and not much breeze, but it was all fun. It was one big party.
That's awesome. Super pumped. So you got the 6-star. Erica, we of course know is 6-star Erica. Lindsay, have you done a major outside of Boston?
Yeah, I did Chicago in 2022.
So New York would be your
So I
third.
just have to, yeah.
That's right. I saw you out there.
Yeah,
We did the
yeah.
5K together. Or I saw you right at the finish.
Yeah.
That was, I remember. That was
That
cool.
was fun. Although I want redemption in Chicago.
Let's go back.
Me too. I need redemption bad. I had strep throat last year.
So you did Chicago last year. So what do you have, Sammy, for...
I have all 3 U.S.
all 3 U.S. So what's next? And I know we're going to have you on the pod again
Berlin,
soon.
right?
I would love to do Berlin. If we could shoot for Berlin for next year, that would be awesome.
And then what about you, Jen? What do you have next?
I have Chicago next, so I have Boston and London, and then Chicago, and then hopefully next year, New York and Berlin, and saving Tokyo for last.
Saving Tokyo for... See, I'm doing it.
It is a good way to end it.
I said I want to end it with Boston. I don't even know if I'll ever get all 6. And then we were talking earlier, Sammy and I were like, they might add a few more because Cape Town and Sydney, Australia, and...
I think Sydney's
Paris,
well on
yeah.
its way. It's not official as of right this moment, I don't think, but I mean, you got to still do the original 6.
So today...
focus.
Yeah, today you're 6-star Erica, but one day I'm going to be 8-star Eric.
There you go.
Yeah.
On the license plate.
Yeah, on my third car or something.
I've already been thinking about how to.
on the boat, airplane. I would go airplane. I would love to
I'm
learn how
already
to fly.
thinking about how to redo my license plate because right now it is 6-star. So spelled out, and so I could do like SVN for 7-star, and
There
like
you go.
I'll figure it out once I get
Just
there.
put a 7 and then a star.
I like it spelled out, man.
Oh, okay.
6 plus 1 star.
There you go.
And it can be like 6 plus 2 star.
There you go.
I'll work on it. We'll
I
work
do
on it.
now that you know what. I like that you said a boat. I want to learn how to fly, but I do a boat. What?
A trailer, like
Trailer, the camper.
Get a pontoon boat, party boat.
The pontoon
party
is
boat.
the pontoon is what I want. Funny story: when I won the camper, I was
great
actually trying
weekend
to
for a
win a
party
pontoon boat.
Well, maybe that's next. That's
Yeah,
what you win
yeah.
next,
Well,
is
you
a
know,
pontoon boat.
maybe a spot on a lake with a nice big dock and a pontoon boat. Here's what I want in my pontoon boat. I want this back seat that's almost like a bed. My buddy had a pontoon boat. The back seat was just like a bed, and that's what I want. I want the party boat.
That's what my parents have.
Ooh, I want to hang out with your parents.
Freedom, New Hampshire, Totem Pole Park. They have a couple houses for sale in our neighborhood.
Let's go. Let's go.
Come on down.
Could we buy? Do any of those houses have like a good podcast studio or like a she shed for a podcast studio?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Lots of sheet sheds.
Okay, I think that's it. That's the Monday Night Media spot. We're gonna in Freedom. Where's Freedom?
Ospey Lake.
Oh, that's where I did the triathlon.
Where's Freedom?
Where's Freedom?
He's like, I'm committed, but I don't know where that is.
I love that
At
area.
this point, he doesn't care.
Fun
Yeah.
fact of Freedom, you can't let off fireworks in Freedom, New Hampshire unless the Red Sox win the World Series. You have 48 hours.
Really?
Fun fact. That is cool.
My only fact of New
Doesn't
Hampshire.
sound like Freedom is that free
Doesn't
though.
seem like freedom then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I totally, no, you're right. Pontoon boat. Who said pontoon boat earlier? That was Well, both you? All right. I'm down for that. Yeah, we'll call it pod boat. Pod
They
boat.
need to have some sort of a water pun or like a
So my dad's boat.
poop pun.
My dad's from Gloucester, and our
The
boat,
toilet bowl.
or at least his last boat, it was called Naughty Buoys.
Oh,
Like
that's a
nautical
good
and
one.
buoy.
That's a good one.
Yep. So, but awesome. This was a ton of fun. Thanks for doing this at on the tailgate of my truck. We're testing this new equipment here because I bought it on Monday. We're recording with someone in person. I am so pumped for this. It's going to drop in a couple weeks. Hopefully soon we'll have a couple of the cameras and we'll get cool angles. This is going to be a lot of fun. I loved, basically Rachel and I were talking during mile 2, and we're just talking about the future of the pod, and not just the pod, but of Monday night. So this is a lot of fun.
Yep, sounds like it's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. So I already pitched Rachel to be on one of the new podcasts coming up real soon. I think around Labor Day or just after, we're going to tease our future podcast hosts, their new logos and everything. And maybe by like early November, you'll get some early episodes from one of them because she's ready to go. She's like, ants in the pants. I want to go.
I
Let's
am
record.
so pumped for this.
She ordered her microphone last night. We are setting her up with guests already. We got the topic. Here's the hint. Music.
Perfect.
But this was a lot of fun. Sammy, welcome to the PodFam.
Happy to be here.
Jen, thank you for hanging out with us. And finally, we're like really meeting in person versus
know,
just
first
fist bumping. Lindsay, you're the best as always. I'm glad to see you got all your stuff.
Thank you. Me too.
Rachel runs for medals. You're the best. Let's make this more of a regular thing.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Erica, you know I love you. Don't fear the code brown and take us home.
I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. We're riding the high of the New Hampshire 10 miler, so just have a great one, everybody. And don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1.
All right, I forgot to hit record. I'm just kidding.
No.
I knew you were
He's a douche and he says that all the time.